See these niggas be capping and lying, they really not like that. Nigga play like he won't get his life back. Still hang with the killers and niggas in our black. Hell yeah, but we like that. Ayy, New Year, so we stacking for scat packs. Just hit a lick and pulled out from the Hellcat. All this smoke pressure, the best you can smell that. Turn the 2, 8, 2 and 3 with a scale at. Ayy, need bows, we gon' wrap it and mail that. Just put a 4 in the poppin' and fell back. Giving them trouble, they like where the help at. These niggas pussy, they twat, they big cat. Big racks all on his head and they kidnap. Ayy, no cap, this shit here, big facts. Kicking in doors at the kickback, big back like. Run them pockets, let me get that. Ayy, 30 shots with 100, come with me. Wasn't proving no points, so we hit them with 60. Crib Street still screaming R.I.P. Nipsey. I come from the Grove, but the North niggas with me. Ayy, 600, that shit kinda in me. I jumped off the porch to the block in the trenches. I'm rocking designer, this Glock in my brick. It's the bitch from the back, me go buy some inches. 6 days and 6 nights, we was out on the mission. On the 7th, we seen them and caught them and flipped. Only right that we hit everybody that's with them. I been causing hell ever since I was little. I can make a bitch shit like I'm Dr. Doolittle. Don't reach for this chain, turn your ass to a noodle. Yeah, I missed the trouble, I thought that you knew. Bitch.
I didn't make it true, playing by the rules. I come apart, but never cool. I didn't make it true, playing by the rules. I come apart, but never cool. I didn't make it true, playing by the rules. I come apart.
Let's do a mic check. Who with me? Let me know if you're here. Mama Birch, I can't go on without you. What's good? Mama Birch said, howdy, Mr. Cool Randy. It's funny because my auntie used to call me that. Or her husband, Uncle Ed, used to, Cool Randy. He drove a Buick. They still make Buicks today, don't they? Yeah, they still make Buicks. Buicks, I've been seeing some nice Buicks. I don't know, bro. I never was a Buick dude. I used to think back in the day, I ain't gonna lie. Don't get mad at me. Because some of y'all granddaddies and daddies had Buicks and your mamas or whatever. But I always thought that a Buick back in the day, I'm gonna say back in the day, I didn't know any better. But I always thought a Buick was a fake ass Cadillac. I used to think that a Buick was a fake Cadillac. But you know what? I used to think the same thing about Lincoln, like the car, the Lincoln car, the Lincoln Continental. Then I got a little older and I start understanding, okay, it's not necessarily, they not biting off of the Cadillac. I'm from the days of the Cadillac. If you had a Cadillac, that was that was it. You know what I mean? Like, where we from, if you drove a Caddy, you was rich, unless you had one that was a few years old. That wasn't really, on the levels of rich. Let me fix my camera, guys. Sorry about that. Let me add a little something there. All right. But back in the day, when I was a little boy, if you drove a Cadillac, you probably was a pimp. I didn't see, we didn't have doctors and lawyers and stuff, people like that around us. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really have that, not where I was from. Mama Birch, correct me if I'm wrong, but too many businessmen, and I mean legitimate businessmen, didn't roll down where we was from driving Cadillacs. They they were either from the block, around where we were from, or they played for the Bengals. Like back in the day, to be honest with you, the Bengals, professional football players, didn't make a whole lot of money. However, they made a lot more than us, but they didn't really make a lot of money. Some of them was making $30,000 or $40,000 a year. That was a lot of money back then, but it wasn't enough money to really move you out of like on the top of the hill and shit like that back in the day. No, you still had to have some hood friends playing wide receiver and linebacker for the Bengals. You know what I'm saying? Them guys, Beauchamp, Pete Johnson. Remember back in the, bro, them dudes used to be down the way. Like down the way. I ain't gonna put too much people business out there, but yeah, there was a couple businesses that used to shoot pool. Put the money on the wood. They would shoot pool. So, I'm not saying they had to shoot pool to make a living. It's just that they wasn't far removed from where they were from. And then there were some things going on where, they had to make a little extra money because back in those days, a lot of them did drugs. A lot of these athletes today, man, I would have to say that I would bet my money that a lot of guys like Jamar Chase and them guys, they're not doing cocaine like the guys back in the day used. They're not shooting dog. They're not shooting heroin and shit like that, bro. It's way too serious now on that level. You know what I'm saying? These guys might smoke a little weed, and I'm not putting that on Jamar Chase and no shit like that. Don't let that be what you got out of that. What I'm saying is today's athletes are not doing them hardcore drugs like back in the day. I just think there's too much that the NFL and the NBA and some of these other places do to keep they keep that element out. I'm not suggesting there's none. I'm saying it's not as rapid as it was back in the day, bro. Like you could see, bruh, we knew dudes was blowed out walking to the mall. And I'm talking about as late as the 90s. I'm not necessarily just talking about back in the day in the 80s. I'm talking about even in the 90s. You could see ball players who was making $1 million, $2 million a year. That was a lot of money. Now it's nothing. That's a rookie. That's a guy sitting on the bench. But back in the day, bro, I used to see some guys that played on the Reds, walking at the mall. You know what I'm saying? And they was you know, I mean, making $2-3 million a year, bro. I mean, drugs was just starting to fade out. You know, in the 90s, the ball players start, fading out of the hardcore drugs. They were done. They were done. I would have to say that. Now they on the basketball court making $10 million a year. And I think people are gonna be mad at me saying this, but I want to say it. I want to say it. It's been on my heart. It's been on my mind. I didn't talk to my wife about it a long time ago. I think it's I grew up in the era where guys who made a lot decent money in sports players have always been role models, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Shit, they do Sprite commercials, they do they do Kool-Aid commercials, they do breakfast cereal commercials and all of that. And I always thought that it was somewhat a responsibility of an athlete to be a role model. I mean, I heard Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan. I heard Charles Barkley tell people, I am not a role model. Hell, he even did a commercial on it back in the day. I don't think that's fair. It's not fair because the same guys who come up as professional athletes who say they're not a role model, every last one of them looked up to some other athlete. I don't know any athlete that's in the NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL. I don't know any of them that didn't have a professional athlete that they looked up to and patterned themselves after or said, I want to be like him. I want to be like Mike. I don't know a professional athlete that has never followed anybody, has never said that's my guy, even if it's Dennis Rodman, whatever it might be. They've all patterned themselves after someone. They've all had an influence of some sort, that they follow. So I don't think it's fair for a professional athlete to say, I'm not a role model. Somebody was a role model to you. You didn't go to the NBA just like in basketball. Somebody inspired you, right? Someone inspired you to be at that level because it's not enough. You can't be, look, it takes a level of commitment to be a professional athlete. It takes a level of commitment and dareness. It takes courage, and you have to be focused. And you don't get that just on your own. Something has to motivate you to get you there. And in most cases, it's not just the money, unless the person you looking up to wears a lot of jewelry, has a lot of cars, has a nice big old home, whatever might inspire you. You've seen it from somebody else. You ain't just say, I'm gonna have that stuff, and it wasn't sitting in front of you somewhere in a picture, in a movie, in a video. Something inspired you. So for a professional athlete to say, I'm not a role model, that's ridiculous. That's a huge part of a professional athlete's job. Yeah, they are role models and they sign autographs. And I don't know anybody that would want to autograph with somebody that they don't have any, that's not somewhat of an icon figure to them. I mean, why would you want, if I seen Barry Manilow be walking across the street, there's no way in hell I would run over and say, Mr. Barry Manilow, hey man, I love your shit, man. Can you sign my shoe? Sign this or sign it, because I don't care nothing about what Barry Manilow is not, he's not a role model for me. I mean, I appreciate his run. He's been in the game for a long time. I can appreciate him, but he's not something that I could, I don't have to have his autograph. But now if Allen Iverson came to my city and I seen him at the convention center, there's no way in hell I wouldn't go over there, especially if I'm at this thing and he's there and I'm like, hey man, look, bro, hey man, my towel. This is my Wyatt Live towel, bro. This is my Wyatt Live towel, bro. It would honor me, young man, if you would sign my Wyatt Live towel right here. And it's probably one I'll put in my studio and hang on my wall over there as a, memory. I watched you play. You're dope. You're one of the dopest little point guards in the NBA history. I don't admire him. However, he is an icon of the game. It's somebody that I would say, hey, I had an opportunity to meet him. And he has that. He understands he's made a lot of money with that responsibility of somewhat having an image that's kept clean. And that's why they get suspended when they do stuff in the league. because it's a responsibility that comes with that job. It's a responsibility that comes with the job. It's an image. Every one of those NBA, NFL, Major League Baseball logos, those are called shields. And if you're a professional athlete, guess what? Every league office will tell you. Hold on, how did I do that? How did I do that with the camera? Did y'all see that shit? I didn't do that. Let me see something. Sierra, you're not on your job. But every NBA league office will tell their employees or tell the guys that represent that shield, hey, you're representing this shield, bro. How you act in these streets? Like, for instance, Cam Britt, what's his name? The cornerback. I don't know if he's coming back to Cincinnati. Cam Britt, that dude, number 29, who flipped over cars and shit in Cincinnati over in Newport and drag racing and shit, did 5 days. I was like, how the hell do you get 5 days in jail for drag racing? And then I start watching more reports, and then the video cam came out of all the shit that he had been doing. And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. Now it explains it. I heard some people talking about they doing the brother wrong. They just trying to hold his money up. They trying to do him wrong. And then they didn't have any idea about the videos or the stuff that actually sent him to jail. You just heard what they wanted you to hear. Thanks, Darnell. It's Cam Taylor Britt. Let me make sure I get that straight. And I'm like, okay, look, these guys are young. They make well over, he makes well over league minimum. So his salary, his contract is probably in the realms of $5, $6, $7 million, I would think. You know what I'm saying? He's been in the league long enough to hit that type. So he's got some toys. So I'm not hard on him like, okay, he racing and shit. I know some broke motherfuckers that spend all their money on engine parts and race. Hell, my father back in the day, y'all know, if you know Sparks and them, y'all know that they used to drag race from street light to street light, and they would race for money. Shit, you hear cars going down Vine and shit like, you know what I'm saying? They hustling out on the streets and they ripping and running and racing for bucks, man. $200, $300 a light. That was a thing back in the day. Not me. I didn't do that shit, but I'm just saying they used to do that. So here this young man is playing for the Bengals. He's making more money than the majority of people his age in the United States of America can make. So I'm not mad at him because he's doing foolish shit. I'm not mad at that. Okay, he's a young man with a bunch of money, with a bunch of toys, and that's what toys do. Most toys, when you grown like that, are dangerous. Most toys are dangerous. It ain't third grade toys. It ain't little army men or little Hot Wheel cars. The older you get and the more toys you have. Shit, I got a few toys that are dangerous, but I ain't going to be out reckless with them. This young man get in trouble drag racing. That's how the news put it out there. They said, oh, Cam Britt, Cam Taylor Britt, he this and that. He drag racing and this and this and that. And then a video came out. A video, 1 of 3. The first one came out, and I was like, okay. Okay, I ain't tripping. I'm not tripping. It just showed him get pulled over, and he don't have a license. I ain't tripping. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole lot of motherfuckers with, that's out here driving, and you know what I mean? Things happen. And then another video came out. And this one right here, I start getting a little bit in my little, I start going into my little turtle shell of defense for him. I'm like, shit, it's getting bad, Brett. It's getting bad, bro. And this one is him. You can clearly see it's his car. And I think it's right over in Newport or Covington over in the Kentucky area, right across the bridge. And he riding down the street and the car just run into the back of another car that's parked on the side of the road. It's like club night. They coming from the club or some old shit like that. And he run into the back of the car so hard that his car damn near runs over the car, flips over and slides down the street a little bit. And I'm like, this shit crazy. Like, dude, crazy. He got to be drinking. because there was no traffic, there was nothing. It was like, bro, you wilding. This is some leaving the club, you know what I mean? Fucked up a little bit. Excuse my language. He's tipsy. He was ringing. I'm sure he was ringing. And he hit something and it flipped over. And then they got the video, the body cam of his brother. He got a little brother or something to stay with him. All of them do. All of them got, the circle is always family somewhat, cousins from down the way, Texas or whatever the shit is. So the little brother, everybody like, it was me. It was me. Little brother was like, it was me. I was in the car, who all was in the car? I don't know. See, everybody know when some slick shit happening. And everybody knows. See, the reason why they have guys like that with them, I know celebrities. Celebrities that do foolish shit, every last one of them got a do-boy with them. Every last one of them got a do-boy. All right? That's the dude that do whatever the fuck he need done. And if we get out here and we get wild, some shit happen and something jump off, you take the charge. That's your job. You got my back on everything that's coming at me. And when I do some crazy wilding out shit, your job just to be around me and to stay cool and me giving you your twos and fews and you being with all the girls. Some shit jump off. It's on you. That's your job. Bet. That's all I got to do. That's how some people feel. That's all I got to do. Shit. Come on. Let's go. Where we going next? So this little dude took the charge for him, and then it come back. They lying. They're lying. All of a sudden, Cam Britt was like, I wasn't in the car. They catch him. They caught him at the crib, and he acting like he was sleeping shit. He pulled the he pulled the little slippers. I'm sleeping shit. What's going on? They played him and was like, well, your little brother said that you was in the car, but you was in the back seat. Now, he just said I wasn't in the car. I wasn't even there. Where my car at, matter of fact. And then the dude was like, but your little brother just said that you was in the car, but you was sitting in the back. You just left the scene. You okay? You need an ambulance? He was like, oh, yeah, you talking about that accident. I thought you was talking about some other shit. Now, everybody know you lying. Okay? So now he got to try to clean it up and say, well, yeah, I was in the car. He said I was in the back seat. Yeah, I was in the back seat. I was in the back seat. Yeah, I was in the back seat. That's what he said. He forget that there's cameras, there's street cams, there's a lot of shit going on around there where they can see who crawled out of the driver's seat. They could see everybody that crawled out of the truck. They could see the young lady that crawled out of the truck. Now this guy driving reckless and all that old shit around town with no license, and he drag racing and he doing a bunch of reckless stuff. And we wondering why he went to jail for 5 days. Because it sound like, they just messing with the Bengal dude. He was just drag racing. That ain't shit. Nobody knew all the other stuff that was going on. Then, after a game, did y'all see the latest video of dude? I mean, he ain't on Pac-Man level yet, but he working on it. He getting there. That's why I know he out. They ain't gonna. He'll be a Raider next year, some old shit. But the latest video was he get pulled over for drag racing after a game. I mean, it's people down there too. Right there by I don't know what that shit is where it's right there by the Reds stadium, but there's a restaurant right there. Right there by the Reds museum connected to the Reds stadium. He racing dudes and revving up shit. The police pull him over like whoop whoop whoop. Like, bro, what are you doing? He was like, oh, now I don't know them. Now everybody see it's him now. Now the crowd can see who he is, who it is. Oh, that's a bingo player because he flashy ass car, loud ass music, white girl sitting next to him. You know the combination of a professional football player. You know how they roll, bro. Big everything, and the little white girl sitting next to him in the passenger seat. Y'all know how they roll. Time out, bro. He had his starter kit going. Fat ass, rims and nice ride and all this old shit. And, good old white girl sitting in the passenger seat. Baddie, right? Y'all know what it is. But anyway, as I digress, the dude get him on body cam. And they like, what you doing, man? And he was like, man, I don't know all these people. He trying to play it off like the people in the way, or they, he trying to play it off. And the cop is like, man, let me see your license and your registration. This dude hand him a license that's suspended. It's not only suspended, he don't even really even have a license. Everything is expired. Now you making $3, $4, $5 million a year, and you don't have no damn current insurance. You don't have a driver's license. Bro, you doing some shit like you working down at the fucking post office, and you running around here reckless, man. It's just crazy. You expect people that really, don't have as much to lose. I don't mean it in a disrespectful kind of way, but that young man has a hell of a lot more to lose than a guy that's waking up every day, busting their ass, working at the post office, and killing themselves every day for the money that they make. And they don't do quite that crazy shit like that. And this young man got way more to lose. It just blows me away. But anyway, some people take a lot of things for granted. Anyway, man, he get caught up. Now I see. Y'all got to understand, I know Judge Broussard personally. We ain't buddies. I guess we do have somewhat of a connection, though. Judge Broussard is the one who gave him, I think it was Judge Broussard. I'm pretty sure it was. I think I seen him maybe in one of the cases. I don't know if Judge Broussard is the one who sentenced him. It's fair to say that. I know he stood before Judge Broussard. And he's one of the strictest. He's a tough cookie. Judge Broussard is a tough judge. And I know he stood in front of him for something. I don't know if he necessarily he was in front of him for his sentencing, but I could see how his dumb ass got 5 days. He lucky he didn't get 30. He lucky he didn't get 30 days in jail for all that shit. Now, I don't know if any of the stuff that happened over in Kentucky, I'm pretty sure the stuff that happened in Kentucky has nothing to do with his 5-day sentence in Hamilton County. That they couldn't charge him for that in Hamilton County. That's reckless driving, leaving the scene. There's a whole lot of shit going on over there. He probably got to deal with that shit over in Kentucky as well. I'm sure he does. He got off light. I think his reputation, I think his money will suffer. I think his career might hit a speed bump, because in the NFL, and like most professional sports, you could be on a bad team and you might not mess your money up. Because, how do I say this properly? You could be on the Cincinnati Bengals and you could be on the worst. You could be on the defense could be the worst. Okay. We could be 3-13, 3-14. Your record plays no part in your negotiations as a free agent. None. You know what they pay attention to when you're a free agent? They go back and look at your body of work. How were you in the community? How were you on the field, number one? But they also look at how you were in the community. But I don't think Cam Taylor, I don't think he put enough good film out there. See, they look at film. They look at film to see if you're worth the new contract. They don't care nothing about you was on the Cincinnati Bengals and the record was 3-10 or whatever, 3-14. They don't care nothing about that. They don't care nothing about that. They want to know what you do play for play. And if you're worth the money that they about to give you, and if you're going to be a fit for the organization that they already have. That's what they pay attention to. They don't care nothing about that you came from a team that was 3-13. That don't even matter to a team. All right. Now, it does matter when you come from a winning organization. You're more valuable when you come from a winning organization. Your video, your tape that you put out there matters. But what matters more as well is, hey, this guy came from a winning locker room. How is he going to play a part in our young people, in our young up and coming players? How is he going to affect the locker room? When you out wrecking cars, flipping cars and shit over and doing reckless shit out in the public, that's not a good look of your character and who you are. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't play well with Any employer. You know what I'm saying? So explain to me, if I am a GM of a team and I see that your behavior is flipping cars and driving without license all over the place and doing reckless shit. You know what? That's people that's been driving without license for 5 years, 10 years, and been driving under the radar because they stop at yellow lights damn near in the middle of the street. They so careful. You know what I mean? You can always tell. The police know when somebody ain't got no license too. They can always tell. There's this specific thing that they do. Now, I know this for a fact. There's a certain thing that people do when their license is messed up. They look around a lot. You know what I mean? If a police officer behind them, they could be 20 minutes late for work. They're going to be 45 minutes late from work because they're going to turn off and do some other shit. They going a whole nother different way. They ain't trying to see a police officer when the license is suspended. They drive off. If a cop get behind them, shit, they got to find a way to get out of the way of that cop reading that tag. They got to find a way. And you can tell odd drive, people are suspicious. You know what I mean? Now, that could play a big part in this young man getting picked up by another team. Because it's character. Character. That's why a lot of those character guys ended up in Cincinnati, and it was probably their last stop. If you look at some of the guys, and I don't mean to be nasty towards my man Pac-Man, but Cincinnati tolerated a lot more from Pac-Man than any team did. He was down in Dallas, and Dallas don't play that. Dallas need clean-cut guys because they have those type of fans. They the all-American fans. They want the good, clean-cut dudes, and they want you know what I mean? They can tolerate the dreads and shit, but you just can't be out here wilding. You can't be bringing strip club to the community. You can't be out here riding around with drug dealer-looking ass cars and shit with weed coming out. They're not tolerating that in Dallas. Okay? It's not that. It's more of a corporate ran type of situation. Cincinnati could get away. That you can go to Cincinnati and play and do that type of shit, but it's probably one of your last stops. Look at the guys. I could give you a rundown of guys who played in Cincinnati where it ended up being their last stop, or they went somewhere else and didn't quite make the cut. They didn't make the cut somewhere else. When Cincinnati let them go, they were done. And I could tell by their character when they were in Cincinnati, like, damn, bro, he went off to where? You know what I'm saying? He went to what team? Oh, yeah, good luck. He probably the best player in the world, but he ain't gonna make it out there because he bad off the court. Whether it's basketball, football, whatever. I done seen guys, I ain't gonna say their name, but we loved them at UC. And they went on and played in the pros. And I know they character. We knew who they was out here in the street. Like, bro, his character, he went to the NBA. Yeah, he went to, you can always tell when they move from team to 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 team. A team is not going to sign you so they can get rid of you the next year. It's different if you get a situation like what Joe Flacco was in. Flacco won't be a Bengal next year. Flacco was like a patch to an inner tube. He was there to patch a problem. They signed him for that short period of time. And yeah, it was for a purpose, to fill in a gap for the moment. He won't be a Bengal next year. Neither will the dude that they had to go get Flacco because Browning wasn't playing. But I don't think Browning will be on the roster next year as well for the Bengals. I don't know what the backups is. You know what they should do? They should go back in and get another veteran. They should go get another veteran and then draft a guy late round or an undrafted quarterback. That's what they should do. Yeah, hey, Ronald Dixon. Kenyon Martin is a dog. Like, he's a good guy. I ain't gonna. Kenyon Martin is a dog. He a beast. You know what I'm saying? He is Texas boy. You know what I mean? Like, he ain't the nicest guy in the world. But what changed him was the league. The league changed him, which was for the better. He's not. See, here's the thing, bro. You ever met somebody that wasn't all the way there? Like, they didn't have all their shit, I don't want to say in the mind, but they didn't value a lot of things because they never had much to value. So when they get an opportunity, when an opportunity comes to them and they can seize that opportunity, Those are the guys that can turn out to be the best in the world. And that's what happened to Kenyon Martin. I think what happened is he watched his life flash before his eyes when he broke his leg. When he broke his ankle, remembering that we were going to win a national championship at UC. He broke his leg and he probably thought he would never play again. And I think him seeing that opportunity flash before his eyes, I think once he got to the league, got his bag, he started understanding the importance of doing things right. I can relate to that way more than I can express to anybody. I think when I was at my worst is when I was at my least. When I had absolutely nothing is when I had less to lose, so I took more risk. When you got a lot to lose, and I'm not telling anybody nothing here that y'all don't know, I'm just reiterating it to some people. The more you have to lose, the less chances you take. Now, this is why I have no love for people. I make up no excuses for people that have everything they need and everything in front of them. And they have everything, all golden opportunities, and the golden goose is right in their face. And they out there recklessly just messing it up. I don't have any sympathy when they lose it. I have no, because you went through the struggle to get it. You know what it is not to have it. So why would you want to be back in a predicament that you once were in before? Why would you want to do that? You know that this was not Ron, hey, bro, I didn't want to say it, but that's the main one I'm talking about. You put that other name up, that's exact, like, bro, all the opportunity in the world, bro. And, this is how they end up, blowing all those up. Sometimes the window is so small. And some of them take it for granted. They think that golden goose that happened to them that first run is going to be at the next locker room. And it's going to be at the locker room after that. And then it's going to be after the one after that. A lot of them, that's why they don't stay in the league long. A lot of people be like, man, the NFL, bro, the average in the NFL is 3 years. You think it's only because they're not better than the next guy? Let me tell y'all something. Here's a secret. There's a lot of guys working at the forward and the GM plants that are better than some of the guys that's playing in the NFL, better than some of the guys that play in the NBA. Where they're lacking is their mental. They're not smart enough to seize the opportunity. They don't know how to not be in the streets. They don't know. Look, there is a psychological exam that you take in order to be professional athletes. Some of these guys, this thing has been active for probably 20 years now, 25, 30 years. And what I'm saying is, you can't even make it to D1 school if you can't pass an evaluation of character, morals, and principles. It's a real thing. It's not just grades. It's not just grades. You got a lot of coaches that are pass on a good talent, great talent, because they're starting to learn that sometimes this talent is not worth the hassle. This talent is going to cost us way more than what it's willing to risk. I've seen it. I've seen, I don't know about y'all, but like, ladies, let me ask you a question if you don't mind. Have you ever known, like, okay, this guy is nice, he's nice looking, this and this and that, he got a couple bucks and this and this and this and that, but I don't know if he's worth it because he sells drugs, or he's a bank robber, or he's this and he's that. You know what I mean? He's bad. He does bad stuff. Like, there's some guys that really are nice people that just do bad stuff. And they'll win your heart over, and you can love them, and they'll buy you anything, and they love being with you. They're great people outside of what they do for a living. And there's some ladies that have really taken some chances on guys like that, and you're going to get your heart broke by them one way or the other. Whether they go off to jail and now you got to maintain all that expensive shit that he left you, And you have no way. I've seen guys, listen, man. Listen, man. I got so many stories that I could tell you of people that I've seen. Um, One a guy, I used to look up to this OG. He used to work at the bakery. They used to work at the bakery. Now, I'm going to say this because some people may know who I'm talking about. So please don't say the name, Mama Birch. If this one slides up on you and you know who I'm talking about, please, Mama Birch, this ain't like the NBA talking, all that shit I was just talking. This is real. Like, this is real people. And I actually have love for these folks because they were like family to me. These are people that did things, illegal activities out on the street and stuff like that, but they still family. We all got somebody in our family that was a crook, dope dealer, something. You know what I'm saying? Something that, that's their life though. That's their life. I knew a guy closely, worked at the bakery. Anybody from Cincinnati know that the Hostess Bakery was the shit down off Lynn. I can't remember the name of the street, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Back by the baseball field, by the train tracks, all that old shit. Y'all, but off of Lynn, though. He worked for the bakery. Used to wear the uniform, the all blues, like scrubs. It wasn't scrubs, but y'all know them uniforms. Blue top, blue top, blue bottom, hairnet. You know what I mean? He looked like a hard-working motherfucker. But listen, he had a set of twins. Now he's with his woman. This is what's dope about him. He is like he a G for me. He is a G, and I still to this day love him to death. Like, birthday just came up a little while ago, you know what I'm saying? And I sent him, and like, they are family. And I mean family because we were together all the time. Not me and him, but his kids are, you know what I'm saying? We like this. He had twins. The twins and I grew up playing ball together the whole nine. He had two other little sons, no daughters involved here, but he was with the mamas. He was with the mama of his kids, and he was a G. He worked at the bakery. Some of y'all gonna be like, Wyatt, get to it. I'm trying to say this in the most proper kind of way. You gotta be careful with the people that you fool with, because not everybody that you fool with that do bad shit are bad people. You understand what I'm saying? Not everybody that you deal with who does bad stuff are necessarily bad people. So everybody knew that he hustled, but nobody could really put it. Y'all know y'all have to connect dots. Everybody look at people by the circles that they run with, but he was so smart. He was so smart. The only time you seen him is when he was in his work outfit and he would be walking home. He didn't have a car. He ain't do none of that shit. But guess how I knew? I knew because I know the bakery don't pay like them kids dressing. The bakery don't pay like that. And I know I know because Mama Bert, my daddy, like my real father. See, I don't hang with my real father's aged people. He did. And they all knew how to do shit like like Larry Lavender, like Lavender. They knew how to stay out of the scene and stay missing and come around only when necessary. And when they come around only when necessary, I used to see him be with them. So I knew. But what the telltale was for a young man like me was this. Every time them flights, them Jordans came out, the whole house had some. Now, how is that possible? We all living in law homes. How is that possible? You feel what I'm saying? How is that possible? How do you go get, and now keep in mind now, all right, let's give it the benefit of the doubt. The 86, 87 Jordan 3s or 3.5s, they weren't $350 then. They were $90. They were $89.99. And I think they end up going as much as $99. They were $100. And back then, y'all know, $100 for some shoes. $100 for some shoes, for some tennis shoes, is the equivalent of paying $300 or $350 today. You feel me? And he, his whole family, not only, now y'all know how Coins and shit was, Coins, the store. Not only did he get shoes for everybody, they all had the matching flight suits. Remember when UC used to have the flight game going on with the Jordans, and then they had the flight sweatsuits, the hat, the low crown hat, just like this one, but it had the Jumpman on it. The shit was dope. The hats were $25. I mean, how do you go spend money like that? I was like, bro, they hiring over there? You know what I'm saying? The bakery getting it on. So, problem is this. I guess the moral to the story. When trouble came, how the household supposed to maintain that type of lifestyle? And that's what they accustomed to. You feel me? So you got to be careful. You got to be real careful because, he's a really good dude. He's a family man. He took care of his business, kept his family clean, big screen TV. Nobody had that shit in law homes and Lincoln Courts back in the day. When you walk in there, he got big screen TVs and VCR. He had VCR. Y'all know what I'm talking about. This is some gaudy shit, but it's real. He would have VCR stacked on top of one another because that's how you had to do. He would like record. They didn't have a double VCR where you had two VCRs in one. He would just had two VCRs. You know what I'm saying? And there was just certain things that you could tell, like, man, what the fuck? How do you know what I'm saying? Now, I want to say something because I don't want y'all to think I'm glorifying this, because there's some people that'll probably look at this and say, well, damn, Wyatt, this dude, you acting like he was like somebody special. Well, he was special to me in heart because his children were my friends. Like, we were good friends. We hung out at the Boys and Girls Club together. When he gave them $1 to get, for some chips, he gave me $1. That's family. When you're being treated the way when he treat his kids a certain way and you're part of that treatment, you consider yourself to be family. Okay, and he get him $1. He'll give me one too. Y'all go get y'all some chips. If he go down to the Black Beer Lot, and I know some of y'all remember that shit. If he get us all in his car and we go to the Black Beer Lot, whatever his kids got, I got. We family. And that's where they used to hang out, at the Black Beer Lot, and keep the kids in the car. We would all be in the parking lot with a hot pickle, barbecue chips, and a Faygo. Every trip. And they were in there hustling, shooting dice, whatever they do at the Black Bear Lot. It was a grown person place, but it was a playground for the kids in the parking lot. But you got to be careful, because when shit got bad, when things got bad, it got really bad. Because nobody can maintain that lifestyle. And now I want to spin this a little bit and tell y'all about choices. I don't want to get preachy, but there's somebody in this room that I feel like I owe a thank you to. And I can't thank them I can't thank you more. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank this family enough for giving me a different perspective. Everything I described to you is how dudes in the hood see success. Like, I wanted what that family had that I was just describing to you. It is everything. Everything is like, I'm trying everything in my heart not to say his name, because it's almost like, I respect him not to say his name, but I love him enough to want to acknowledge who he is. meaning the father who was doing all that for his kids and considered me family. That's a role model in the hood. It wasn't about, well, he worked at the bakery, he getting his money, he taking care of his family. That was the persona. That's what it looked like. But then hustlers know that that's how hustlers move, like how real guys that's connected, that's how they move. They're not on the streets 24/7 looking like this is what I do for a living. That's not how they do it. To a smart guy, to an intelligent guy who got book and crook, he is the blueprint for a book and crook dude. But then this other guy came in my life who had everything that this guy had from the hood, who made me realize he never said anything. He didn't know, he didn't know my situation, like what was impressing me like that. He didn't know that shit. So I had to put myself in a position of weighing the two things, because this other guy that I had recently met had everything that this guy that I looked up to in the hood had. He had the family, same amount of kids, just different. He had 2 girls and 2 boys, but the guy down the way only had boys. He had a nice crib. Matter of fact, his crib, let's see. Which one you think was better? The one out in the Coleraine area when Coleraine was Coleraine. And I don't even think that's Coleraine. You just had to go to Coleraine to get there. I don't know. I'll get to the directions later, or the one that was down in Lincoln Courts. That's a no-brainer. One had a swimming pool and one didn't. One had a swimming pool in their backyard, and one had Lincoln Center. All right. So I have to look at these two situations and say, man, I've been looking at this guy for years, who's giving me $1. I play with the kids, and he's been somewhat of a mentor of how to hustle undercover and still take care of your family and do things, because I'm a family-oriented guy. I knew that I wanted a family and was gonna, I knew that I didn't want to be out here and be running through and be, I knew stability is how you get to success. Stability is consistent. You have to be consistent. Consistency that's the key to success, is consistency and stability. And if you have those two things, you're on your way. And I knew having one woman is all you really need in order to be successful. Little girls had always been, I had people in my life like, Kelly and people like that would tell me, you don't want to be with her. And I'd be like, boy, y'all some hating ass. My girlfriends, like the girls I grew up with, y'all some hating ass. Y'all don't want me to be with nobody. They just be like, nah, Rand, you just be choosing the wrong ones, man. These girls be playing. Like, you think you the only dude she messing with? And I'm like, yeah. She's like, no. So I had to learn at an early age that, women play a lot of games, and they'll X your ass out. Like, they're only loyal to their next opportunity. Feel me? I had to learn that at an early age. Some of y'all mad at that shit right now, but it's the truth. So I knew the basics. I knew what I wanted. I knew that I only needed one. I knew that I needed the right one, but now I needed some structure. And that structure came when I met Paul Wyatt. That's Mama Deb's husband. He was structure. He was everything that the other dude was, but he was clean. What I mean by that, he was legit. he could buy his kid, every one of his kids had the same kind of Jordans and tennis shoes, and even Paul wore sweatsuits, and I seen a different life. I seen something. I came from a world of, to have that type of shit, man, you got to hit these streets, man. You got to hit that pavement, bro. You got to get out here and get that money. You got to do it like this. He wasn't doing it that way. And he wasn't, he didn't have to do the things that my other dude was doing when it came down to, I'm sure Paul slept well at night. Like, I'm sure that he didn't have to worry about, the same thing that my other guy had to worry about. You can't have flat screen TVs and be in a drug infested neighborhood and think that your house ain't gonna never get hit, or you got to worry about somebody, seeing what your kids wearing, and then now you could be a target. Like, Paul wasn't living like that. Paul was getting up every day, grinding legitimately, and he showed me, bro, it's more legal money out here, and you'll live better. Because he knew I was rough around the edges. Y'all got to understand, I was rough. Like, I was one of them dudes that would think because shit wasn't going my way, you was hating on me. Now, we didn't say it like that back in the day. But if some shit didn't go my way, like if somebody chose somebody over me for something, I'd just be like, oh, you some hate. You know how people are today. I had that non-accountability attitude, just like a whole lot of us have today. I used to have that. I used to be that way. I used to think everything that went wrong in my life was because of some shit somebody else did. It was never my choices. It was always the system's fault. It was always I had to be 10 times better than somebody. And if I wasn't 10 times better than them, that was the reason. It was always the white man told me I couldn't do something. And more of the people that look like me always told me what I could and what I couldn't do. A white man ain't never told me. He ain't never showed me. You know what I'm saying? It's always been people that look like me that's what I gravitated myself around. I stayed with people that look like me. Paul used to tell me all the time, man, you could do anything you want to do, man. The sky is the limit. I ain't never had a black man tell me that. You hear me? In my young, youthful days, I had never had a black man look me in my face. See, it's one thing if you get it from a dude that's down there hustling and he got $30,000 sitting on top of the bed and he counting money and he telling you, man, you could do anything in the world. No, I can sell dope. You're showing me that I can be successful underground. You showing me that I could be successful like that. That's what you're telling me. But I got a man that's clean cut, living life the proper way, making good decisions, taking care of his family, got 2 VCRs, all that old shit. Legitimate man telling me, hey, Rand, you can be anything you want to be, brother. You can be anything you want to be. Here's the thing. I guess the moral to the story is, I think we all know we can be whatever we want to be. But as a young black man that I was, and these young black guys that are coming up to this today, I think it's important that they hear it from somebody that can justify and can prove to them that they can be anything that they want to be and do it the legitimate way. I'm not going to get preachy when I say this, but y'all know there was this little incident, excuse me, I got my retainer in, y'all know. And hold on, let me get this camera right, bro. What is up with the camera? Is that me? But anyway, this incident with Corey Holcomb, and there we go. Corey Holcomb and I think there's some hand shit going on with this camera, man. Sierra, what we got going on here? Yeah, I'm just figuring this shit out. Look. Oh, I look crazy as hell to y'all right now, but I'm looking at a signal thing on my screen. What did I do? I know I look crazy to y'all, but there's some shit going on my screen. Anyway, where was it? There was a situation that went on with a comedian and a podcaster. They're both podcasters. We didn't talk about it. I'm not really getting deep into it. But I want y'all to understand the influence that people have on our culture, on us, period. Now, I listen to the Anton Daniels guy because he talks about finance and he talks about business and things of that nature. I'm not all that convinced that he is 100% who he portrays himself off to be. I just I don't believe everything from everybody. Okay, and that's fair to say, right? But I know who Corey Holcomb is without even knowing this dude, just by how he goes, what he says, how he attacks other people. I know that type of guy. And y'all might think I'm crazy for this. Anton might have been wrong in some ways. Corey Holcomb was wrong in some ways. He may have been wrong in some ways. But I know what's wrong for sure. When you attack a man and attack a man's family by bringing his wife up and running pictures on a show, and then bring an underage kid, a daughter. Did y'all know that his daughter is underage? You know what I'm saying? Do y'all know that his daughter is under the age of 18? And he put that young girl up on the screen? That's just disgusting within itself. But here's the nasty, disgusting part of what Corey Holcomb did to Anton. What he did was this. He told his audience, this is a man that brags about not having kids out of wedlock. This is a man that brags about not having a bunch of bitches. This is a man that talks about, you know, he don't have to pay for bitches. I mean, listen to how he's talking about our women, because that's what Corey is describing. Think of what type of audience you must have if people think that having a bunch of babies out of wedlock, not having babies when you were not while you're married with your wife outside, you know, with side bitches, that's what he called them, side pieces. He don't have babies, and imagine what his audience must be like. Imagine the shit that they condone. If you think, first of all, it would never hurt my feelings if someone called one of my kids ugly. You know, it could be jokingly or whatever, or another podcaster said, hey, Wyatt, you know, he got 2 daughters, man, but they ain't gonna never get married. Wyatt he buy prostitutes, and his daughters are gonna have to buy prostitutes one day. That's what Corey Holcomb said about this other dude. See what I'm saying? But imagine what this man's audience must be like for them to say or to laugh or to think that that's some cute shit, or they think that that's fly. At a certain point, it's not even what the man who you talking about did to you. At a certain point, you show who you really are by the way you pay. You know, payback is not for us to give. Payback comes from somewhere else. Y'all know that. I'm not going to get biblical and all that, because that's not how I see it. It's how I was taught. Payback coming from somewhere else. Somebody do me wrong, I expect payback. Now, I will defend myself. That's different than paying somebody back. But payback comes from God. For Corey to go in on this man like that and put his family out there and all this old shit, you must have an audience that you feel comfortable with. So that says a lot about not only you, it says a whole lot about your audience. It says a whole lot about what people think is entertaining and what people think is cute, what they think is funny. And I think when you pull a man's family in to your fight, number one, it's soft. It's limited. If you don't have the vocabulary or the altitude to even bring up topics or make him look, call him a trick. Talk about that shit. Call him some things that will humiliate him as an individual. But when you have to hit not below just the belt, you went all the way from the belt to the ankles, to the knees, to the ankle. You did all of that shit, bro. And that to me is like having an argument with somebody that can't stand on any principle. They can't stand on any part of an argument. They have to be humiliated. They have to try to embarrass you about some shit that ain't got nothing to do about what y'all talking about. That's because you're dealing with a limited motherfucker, right? If you and I are talking about the equator in the world, I mean the globe itself, and I start getting out of my element, now I got to shift the degrees of intelligence. I got to shift it. I got to make this about motherfucker. I grew up and we all thought the world was flat, and now you got to try to shift it in some other shit to make it funny. So everybody can get on your level because you a class clown. If the principal or the teacher asked you in a classroom, take your funny clown ass up to the chalkboard and do that math, you can't do it. But you can make the class laugh. You can make the class laugh. Now imagine how many class clowns we didn't had at Withrow. How many of them you see on motion pictures today? How many of them do you see at the Funny Bone to this day? So class clowns don't have an average of going off and being great. They really don't. You got a few. I don't even know if the guy's like, I don't know if one of the best comedians in the world to this day, based on how he told his story, which is Dave Chappelle, I don't think he was a class clown. I don't think Dave Chappelle was a class clown. I think Dave Chappelle wanted to be a comedian, but I don't think he had the confidence to actually be it until he went off to this little acting school thing and they told him, yeah, you could do this. I'm just going by what Dave Chappelle said. He might have been a little funny in school, but I don't think he was the class clown. I think he was smart. You know what I'm saying? I think he was the guy that would go up to the chalkboard and figure the math problem out. I think he raised his hand in class. You know what I'm saying? And was smart. I think he really was that because he's a smart guy. But how many class clowns do you know ever went off and just tore up the Chitlin circuit and went off to be a motion picture star, came out to be the Eddie Murphys, came out to be the Richard Pryor's? I'm still waiting for him. But this is a class clown that's talking to an engineer. So of course they're not going to have the right kind of conversation. And of course a crowd that'll laugh at a man because he calls another man's daughter ugly and says that she's going to have to buy pee because he does. Anybody that'll laugh at that shit, and anybody that'll follow somebody that speaks like that about another man's family, you're just as low-level fruit as he is. Let me go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
It's Friday.
Uh-oh.
I ain't got no job. What up, Wyatt?
Hey, Drop Squad 52 out of California. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. Shout out to the people in the chat. My number one Black Not Democrat twin and everybody else. I'm just telling you, Wyatt, this subject, my brother, it ain't nothing new, Wyatt. It's nothing new, bro, because you got to remember, what was the origin of the actual disagreement, or what made Corey Holcomb go off like that? Why was Anton even on his show? Can you tell the people?
Yeah. I mean, which one you want me to answer first? There's a couple of different questions there.
Whichever one you want to.
Okay, I'll go with why was Anton on the show?
Yes.
I'll answer that because these guys are podcasters and it was an opportunity. So what happens is Anton has a bigger show than Corey, from my understanding, looking at the clips. I had to go do my research on that. If you look at Anton he's on all day, not all day. He's on every day. Not all day, but he's on at least 2 shows or 3 shows a day that he does. Plus he floods the market with reels, with clips. Okay. So every podcaster who's doing it for a living looks for more opportunity to grab, and get mainstream, people that are out there watching different programs. So I think Anton was going over there. I know he knew what he was getting into, but I don't think he thought it would go the way it did. So I think, to answer that question briefly, I think he went over there to be able to talk to a crowd. If Corey has 33,000 people watching his clips, then he gets to go over and talk into those, he get to talk to that audience. He get a chance to pick up some audience or something. I don't know. Now, here's the other answer to the other question. You said what sparked their argument? Well, how did it get to the point that it got to?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think this is only my opinion, but I think it's pretty accurate. I think Anton got offended first by something Corey said to him, and then instead of Anton just eating it, he returned the serve. He matched the energy of Corey. You insult me by saying something to me, and I said something to you that insulted you, but what I said cut deeper than what you said to me. See, that's what I think.
Okay, now, see, I'm gonna break it down in a different way, my brother.
Okay.
Because again, in the Black community, there's always been a divide, right? Whether it be economic status, whether it be education, whether it be looks, whatever. There's always skin color. It's always been a divide in the Black community.
Well, it's not fair. Okay. Hold on. Just because I can't let that be said without at least giving a rebuttal to that statement. I'm not saying you're wrong, but what I will say is there's been a divide, not just in the Black community. There's a divide in the white community as well.
No. That's we talking about Black people here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know
because the people involved, Corey and Anton, they Black people. Okay. Their audience is predominantly Black people.
Okay.
Anton may have more white people than Corey.
I don't
but they both have white people in their audience.
Okay, that's fair to say.
Okay. So back to what I was saying about there's always been a divide in the Black community. Okay. Now, Anton has different content than Corey. But they're 2 Black men, prominent Black men with an audience.
Okay.
So what I think, Anton goes on Corey's show to try to convince, sway, or to inform Corey's audience, right? Corey brings Anton on because he has a big audience, and Corey hopes maybe he can expose Anton to the Black people that follow him to show that he ain't a real brother. Because Corey said that Anton had the white man's penis in his mouth.
No, that's not how that went.
Well, it was something along, Corey said that Anton was doing something with white people, and it wasn't positive.
What can I tell you what he said, and then you continue?
Okay, yeah.
The first insult came from Corey Holcomb. He said to Anton, he said, see, that's why I don't like, see, it went off rear because Anton says something about the slave trade, because Corey Holcomb obviously doesn't know about the slave trade. Okay. So
right, I was going to get to that, but go ahead.
Okay,
yeah.
But that's where it came off. The disrespect from Corey came right after the slave trade analogy and what they were talking about. And Anton kind of took Corey out of his element a little bit. So now, in order for Corey to get back into his element, now he has to steer him in the direction that he knows best, and that is that coon Uncle Tom type shit.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what happened. So what he did was this: he said to Anton, because Anton said something about, you do know about the slave trade, right? You know how that happened, and your boy was like, you could tell he didn't really know, but he was like, well, yeah, but you trying to say that white people didn't have something to do with that. And Anton was like, no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. And then Corey got he got red a little bit, and he was like, see, that's what I don't like about you. That's what I don't like about you. Now, keep in mind, he already done said that he ain't really watched no videos of Anton. He don't really know him like that. He's probably going.
Oh, yeah, he do. Yeah,
wait a minute.
Yeah,
I'm just telling you what he said. He's probably going off of some of the things that he heard about him and some of the clips that he actually seen that was put in front of him, because, you know, he know him. He ain't gonna just have him come on there and he just be totally naked of not knowing what he stands for. He knows that he's a conservative and all that. So there's only one story that you can say about a conservative. They all fit under the same, you know, coon technique, and all, they all do this. It fall under the same thing. So it ain't hard to study it. You know what I'm saying? You know what to say. So the first insult came from Corey when he said, see, that's what I don't like about you. You can't come over here kissing white people's ass. You kiss white men's ass. That's what he said. He said, you kiss white men ass. Then he said this: what have you said over here bad about white people? And what Corey tried to do is what people have done to me. And that is
exactly,
bro.
That's where I'm going, bro.
We ain't even talking about white people. What are you talking? Well, you over here talking bad about black folks. And see, that's all you got to say to certain selective hearing people. They not even. We wasn't talking racial or nothing. Corey, you brought up black people and then the slave trade, and you know what I'm saying. You brought up something that made Anton say the slave trade. If you Anton just gave him the truth about something that Corey didn't know nothing. Corey say some shit like, well, that's what I'm talking. You be what did you say? What? And see, here's the thing, Drop. This is what took it. This is what went wrong. This was the disconnect. And I don't know how many people really heard it or followed it like this. The disconnect is Corey was talking about Anton hasn't said anything bad about white people on his show, meaning at that present time. Anton,
which means he knows about the show. Go ahead.
No, I'm talking about Corey was saying that Anton hadn't said anything about white people on Corey's show that was bad. When in fact it wasn't no topics about white people were even spoke about. You know what I'm saying? So he had to make it. So Anton was like, what are you talking about, bro? This is crazy. He said, but you talk bad about white people. Black people all the time. What do white people do wrong? And see, that's when you know a motherfucker in another zone. That was the disconnect. There was no conversation about white or black people until Corey went there, because he was lost in the sauce of the slave trade. Do you understand? So then what happened?
Yeah, I get it. I get it. But that's your opinion.
No, bro. That's what happened.
You're speculating.
I'm not
Corey
speculating.
Didn't want to talk about the slave topic.
He couldn't talk about it because
I get it. But again, you're speculating.
No, bro, because what he said when Anton asked him, "Do you know about the slave trade? Do you know what happened?" He was like, "Well, yeah, but you're trying to say that that's the only way that we got here." And Corey was like, and Anton was like, for slaves, it was. And then Corey was like, so what do white people do wrong? And it went, you see what I'm saying? That meant he had no comeback to what the slave trade was actually about. He didn't know. So he went to he started playing his spades in his hand he was reneging. He was playing the spades in his hand. He was cutting cards. He couldn't have a conversation about the slave trade. So here's the disrespect that Anton blew back. When Corey went to the what do white people do wrong and all that old shit, so he can get his crowd back into, okay, we up now. We hear you. What's gonna be the blow? What you gonna say? So when he said that, then Anton said some very disrespectful shit to him, because for some people, y'all don't know. I don't even know. Like, Drop, I know you, but I don't know you enough to know what to say to you that's so offensive that you'll say something to me that's even more brutal, that might hurt my feelings. I don't know you like that. So when you say something, if I say something to you and it's disrespectful, and you say something back to me that's disrespectful, I'm dead ass wrong if now I'm ready to fight. I'm dead ass wrong if I got to make it something. Now I got to make it physical and we got to do this and I got to start trying to bully you. I'm wrong. So if I tell you that you kiss white people ass, if I say that to you, bro, okay, that might be just as offensive to you as what you say, how I get offended on what you say to me. And you turn around and you tell me that I suck black people's thing because I do things, I only make things, I make conversational easy for them. That's basically what he was saying. He was saying you play down to that, to that rhetoric. You play down. That's what he was trying to tell him. You do that. Now, Anton should have been better than that. He's bigger than that. Like, I believe that, and this is going to sound a little biased, I believe that Corey is not bigger than that. I believe that Corey Holcomb does that to people because he's a comedian, and part of his stick. Part of his thing is to be insulting to people. That's why it was not.
That's why he invited him to the show, Wyatt. That's what I'm getting to.
Okay,
bro.
well now you go ahead. Okay, now you go ahead.
Okay, that's my point. That's what I'm trying to get to. My whole point is that these two black men, prominent in their area of podcasting and speaking on cultural and political issues, they're top notch in that area. Okay, so this is nothing new. If you go back in the day, back in the 90s, you remember the Morton Downey Jr. show?
Yeah.
Okay, Al Sharpton was always booked on these shows, and he would go against other black conservatives. And there was a black conservative named Roy Ennis.
Okay.
Him and Al Sharpton got into a fight.
That's I remember when Al Sharpton was I remember that. I got the clip of that.
That's when Al Sharpton was heavy set.
Right. And he fell out the back of the chair. I remember that.
Right. Okay. So again, this conflict is nothing new. It's just that now every black conservative or black not Democrat or even just a black person with an opinion that's not aligned with the Democrat opinion, which most black people follow, there's going to be conflict. Okay. Now, at the point in the clip where you showed when Corey gets up and gets in Anton's face, I guarantee you, Wyatt, a lot of people who are watching and listening to that probably thought it was set up, thought it was staged. Okay.
Can I play the clip? It's right here. Can I play the clip?
Go for it, my brother.
Because people are saying, play the clip, play the clip. I've had this clip for a long time. This is
a good one, boy.
It is. Give me a couple. Sierra, I'm sitting here trying to learn. I'm trying to work this camera, Sierra. That's why you see me doing that. There's this motion detector on my new camera, right, bro? And I know what kind of camera you got. Okay, I know what kind you got. I don't know how to work
I'll be noticing your shit. Go ahead, bro.
All right, bro. Check it out. All right, here's the clip, man. And if y'all see me doing this karate and shit, it's just me trying to move this camera. Check it out, man. Here it is. All right.
And she was made all over with feces. Lie. Yeah, that's a lot of crap. Now, look, brother, you have your time. That's a lot of crap. Brother,
See, Wyatt, again, a lot of people don't know the history of black actors. Oh man, I'm seeing it now because it's a little bit of delay. A lot of black people, young black people, probably the age group that listen to Corey and listen to
guys,
Anton,
so we gotta
they don't know about this history of the conflict within the black community between the black Democrat and the black not Democrat. Okay, so again, like I said, bro, longevity has its benefits because I can still remember shit from back in the day.
Yeah.
And sometimes I come on your show to offer a different point of view, okay? That a lot of people don't even realize that what they're watching is nothing new. It's just a newer version of it.
I agree. I agree.
And
with
now with the platforms that are out there on social media, you're going to have more and more incidents like this. Now, maybe Corey crossed the line when he said the comment about Anton being in white people's ass, and then Anton crossed the line by saying that Corey got black people's penis in his mouth.
Yeah, and
But-
let me just say this to that. I really let it go. All right, I let that whole argument and that story go. I thought they were both at fault for it to get amped that way. They both were wrong. It doesn't
And
matter.
neither one of them wanted to fight.
No,
that was obvious.
Well, I know one that didn't for sure.
Okay, because it would have been great TV or podcast material for them to get in fisticuffs on the set, just like Al Sharpton and Roy Ennis did at the Morton Downey show.
But you can't.
And they were all over back in the 90s on Geraldo Rivera's show, Phil Donahue. Al Sharpton was the spark. They brought him on the show because they knew what Al was going to do.
Right. Well, here's the difference.
So Anton took a chance. He took a chance. We don't know why, but I think he went to Corey's show to try to persuade some of Corey's listeners to see things in a different way.
Yeah, I think
That's
so
all.
too. I think so too. I don't think there was a hidden agenda there. I mean, I think that he I don't know why Anton would have done that though, because bro, that's like me. It's like, for instance, we have a radio station here in the city of Cincinnati, right? And it would be like if Mr. Ware, who's been there for 50 years, he's been in radio for 50 years. I respect.
You talking about WBDZ, The Buzz?
Did you say that right? Whatever. Yeah,
Yeah,
it is The Buzz.
I got it on
but anyway,
I listened to it.
Here's the thing. It's almost like them, and I think people will respect me saying this. This is not a knock at them. It's just that I'm totally the opposite of every host that they have and probably have ever had in the last 10 years. Maybe there's a one or two maybe in the history of them that, kind of talk like I talk. I don't know. But what I'm saying to you, it's almost like if he was to take a vacation or take a day off, they would never call me to be a substitute talker or host for his show. I don't fit the realm of what they do. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know why someone like Anton would go over there thinking that he's going to recruit. That's like me going over to that man's show, not recruiting people there's people in every audience that's open to different ideas and different way of seeing things. And just because they're there don't mean that they agree with everything that's being said there as well. So maybe Anton was going over there to get those folks. But like me, I know my home field. I know not to go to the radio station trying to recruit people in the zone that I'm in my area. That's not my. I'd be better off. I would be barking up the tree of trouble to go over there and think that I'm going to convince. Look, I hate to say it this way. I'm not going to convince somebody that's been listening to that for 40 years.
But Wyatt, like I always tell you, bro, it's a lot of black people out here that just need to hear a different point of view.
No,
okay,
you're wrong.
It doesn't matter.
As much as I love
my
you,
God.
No, bro. As much as I love you, some people, no matter what you say, there's always going to be a pushback, or the goal line is always going to move because they just don't see it the way you see it. It's like, especially the older they are. I don't mean this in any disrespect, but I'm telling you, the older you are, the more in depth you are into your thought process, and the more you're willing to accept what you've always known to be true.
Yes, but that's not what we're talking about, Wyatt, when it comes to the Corey Holcomb show and Anton's show.
Okay.
These are young people that are listening. Old folks ain't in those places. Okay?
Yeah. Yeah, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
So listen.
Okay.
In that world of podcasting and streaming, right? You'll have, they call them collaborations, Wyatt, where when Anton goes on Corey's show, Anton's followers and subscribers are going to click on Corey's show to watch.
Yes,
or listen.
I understand.
So Corey's numbers go up.
I get all of
Because
that.
like you said, one has more audience than the other.
Okay.
And I think you said that Anton's audience is bigger than Corey's.
Only because
Right?
I believe Anton is more consistent. Corey has a show.
No, that's not my point. Okay.
I know, but I'm
what
just saying. I just want to clear up when you say that, I said it, and I want to explain to people quickly why I said what I said. I believe Anton's audience is bigger because he has multiple shows and he runs a daily show. If he was running a show like Corey Holcomb, it might be a little bit different in the numbers. Corey's only on once a day. Like I think Tuesday, only on Tuesday is his 5150 show. So it's almost like running numbers. Somebody that's on prime time versus somebody that's on at 3 o'clock in the morning.
No, why? I hate to say, bro, that's wrong. Because in the podcast and streaming world, they have their actual show, like you, 2-hour show. But they take and make shorts and clips and they post them all across all the platforms, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. So these guys have 24-hour exposure. And then when people share and like, that's even more exposure. So that's all I'm saying is that a lot of what we saw between Corey and Anton, some people may think it was staged, but the fact still remains, okay? Some people will listen who have never heard of Anton, okay? Never heard of him, but they're followers of Corey. And the fact that Anton's on that show, some of those people are going to hear some of the shit that Anton's saying and be like, wait a minute, let me fact check that. Let me see if that's real. Because I ain't never heard Corey mention nothing about it. Okay. You see where I'm going?
I know what you're saying. And it's almost like, and I've heard that from you before when you talk about me, when you talk about other people who have.
Exactly.
I know what you're saying. But what I'm telling you is this, bro. There's nobody on this platform right now from the radio station who listens to me but they're fans over there and that's how they think. They're not over here just to disagree with me. There's a couple that kind of play the fence. I think we go where we're most familiar and we're more comfortable. That's what I think personally, because that I've made that statement here on the air. Like, why would somebody want to come here or go to the radio? Like I tell Twin all the time, bro, I don't understand if you got a problem with how they do things or why they argue or they down you or play you like, and I say it on the air, it ain't no hidden conversation. I say, why do you listen? Or why do you be part of something that you feel like you got to be frustrated at every day? I don't understand that. And now
because Twin is part of the show. Twin
get that now.
Has an ego. Twin has an ego. It's so obvious that the man does.
Okay, so now fill in the blank on this, Drop, because you got a valid point there. But you know that there's a whole lot more people that watch and listen to these shows than that actually participate. So what happens to the person that thinks just like Twin, but they never call in, they never send in messages, they just listen to the show and they stay and they stay frustrated at just being mad. So why would you think? See, Twin's not the only thing that makes Twin unique is Twin is part of the show, like you said, but he participates in the show. If he was a person that was just sitting back in the cut, just watching it, but staying as frustrated as he is and not being part of the show, what would you call that type of person?
Okay, well, obviously, when Twin calls in to the Buzz or when he calls into your show, some people may not like his style, but he does give an alternative point of view.
And how many people do you think
the hosts are talking about or the subject?
How many people do you think call in? I'm talking about people that engage in the show. How many of them do you think, if 10 of them call in, how many of the 10 do you think say Twin was right? Y'all don't listen to Twin was right.
Probably none of them.
Okay. So you're right in a sense where he's part of the show. He's probably needed in a certain space.
No shit. Just like I was on the Nathan Ivey show, bro. I drove his listenership. I got people to tune in to let's listen to this coon, this Uncle Tom, this sellout. But I know, because again, I was a little bit older than some of the people that were listening to Nate at the time. But the fact is, I called in regularly. Everybody knew what they were going to get when I called in. They knew I was going to get something. They knew they were going to get something opposite
of what they
or
were
in
listening
opposition
to. I get it.
Of whatever Nate was talking about.
So now let me ask you, based on your logic of how Anton and Corey went, you're basically saying that you think that Anton went over to Corey's show to be able to engage in his audience, thinking that those guys were going to now want to listen to the villain in him on his show. So they were going to now come, because you only get one shot to listen to him on Corey's show. So in order to hear him again, now I got to go over to Anton's show, and I got to be over there and disagree with him when I watch his show, and he got to get on my nerve, and I got to tell him how wrong he is. You think that's the person he went over there to go get? See, that's the opposite of me. That's why I don't go places.
Kinda.
Well, that's not.
But
see, that's how I break it down. To be honest with you, if you know what I'm talking about, I'm not going somewhere to seek out people that I got to convince my way is better than the way that they already thinking. If they're not here on their own free and will, and they didn't hear about me, and maybe they heard about the show and they gave it a shot, it's never going to be me going somewhere saying, hey, I'm about to say something that's so freaking dope that they either going to love me or hate me, and then they going to come watch the Wyatt Live show regardless. I know.
No, because see, again, when you are a preacher of the word, right? Like Twin, he think he preaching when he go on these shows. Okay? Right? Okay,
preaching.
So
elaborate on preaching. Do you mean biblically?
Okay.
Or you...
No, I'm talking about how religious people will go to places that they know people ain't really into God, but they will go to try to persuade them.
Okay.
Right? Jehovah's Witness knocking on your door. They still, the Mormon Latter-day Saints.
Okay.
They still come around and knock on people's door in some of the baddest neighborhoods in America.
Okay.
They still do it because they feel that once you hear my word, I got your ear.
And you know that shit don't work.
But
you know that shit don't work. Let's be honest.
You don't know.
The only person
tell
that,
you,
listen,
bro.
brother. Let me,
you don't
hold
know,
on,
Wyatt.
Bro. Yeah, I do
know.
Oh
my God.
Man. Let me. So you
Wyatt.
wait a minute. Hold on. How you gonna say I don't know, bro? Let me ask you something. You telling me that the Jehovah's Witnesses that used to walk through the, I don't know if they were Jehovah's, but the guys that would walk through the hood and have the Bibles and stop at your door and want to have conversations with you, the only person that's going to stop there and have that conversation with the person with the Bible is somebody that's already in that frame of mind. There is not a guy. Okay. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I can tell you is we did not. Everybody used to say, "Here come them Jehovah's Witnesses," and they would go in the house and not answer the door, or they would ignore them. I'm just telling you that in most cases, I'm speaking for myself. I can't find myself to go to other shows and try to bring in people that have a different perspective of mine, that have been thinking the way they've been thinking for decades. That is a hard pill to swallow. Now, if you give me a classroom full of third graders who parents raised them a certain way, I stand a chance. They're still early in life. But somebody that's been hearing that, certain things about certain things for decades, and they wake up every day to hear the same thing just said in a different fashion, that's somebody you're very seldom going to convince them that, what they've been thinking is wrong, or that's different. They might hear you different, but bro, I hear it all. Whenever I do get an opportunity to tune in, he don't even give the people who got a different opinion a fair shot. I mean, not even a fair. He'll let them say some shit and then he'll go in and make it curve it, and your boy do the same thing. What's his name? Corey Holcomb do the same thing. Instead of sometimes giving your audience something different, like I would never hold back somebody from saying that they want to give a different perspective. I might not agree with it, but I'm not going to tell them they can't do it. I ain't never told nobody that they couldn't say anything opposite of me. I might not agree with what you're saying, but that don't mean I got to, sit here and act like what you're saying is the truth. I'm a human being. No,
right. Because again, if you host a show, you're doing it for your listeners. Corey, Anton, same thing. Their main goal is to give the listeners what they think the listeners want, right? But sometimes it's necessary to add something to your show, to get a little spice or something to it. Now, when you're talking about Black people, it's going to be the way to get some added spice to the show is to bring on another Black person who has a different point of view. So that's all I'm saying is what happened with Corey and Anton. Because again, if they really wanted to fight, if Anton was out in the back waiting, with his hands all greased up, ready to throw down, somebody would have followed him outside and showed it.
Well, there was only one
but
guy.
They didn't.
There was only
they
one guy.
stayed in studio and they kept the camera on the host, which was Corey, because at that point he felt that the interview was over.
Well, let me just say this to that, and then I'll let you finish. I promise, bro. I'll let you finish.
No, I'm getting ready to hang up because I'm looking at these comments and I want somebody else to get in because I don't know how long your show gonna be.
We got a little bit of time. All right,
okay.
But hey, I appreciate you engaging with us, bro. Don't be a stranger.
All right, and again, shout out to the chat. Shout out to my main man, Fame Rothstein, the Betting Public Sports Show. Because I hope he calls in because he has some good comments.
We got
and again, shout out to everybody else, man.
All right, brother. Appreciate you engaging with us.
All right. Be safe in them streets.
You too, brother. Take it easy. Yeah, that was Drop Squad 52 out of California. Drop, he have legitimate points. I'm not even going to lie. But I think Drop is a little bit more aggressive than me because Drop and I have had conversations. Drop has been one of those people like Sierra, to be honest with you. Wyatt, what you need to do is this and this and this and that. And Drop caught me at the beginning of this stuff. And he's trying to tell me and teach me, I'll be honest with you, like an OG. He's trying to teach me how to grow in this space. And I'm like, bro, I don't want to. I'm okay. I'm content right here. This is not what I do for a living. I'm not even trying to make this what I do for a living. So I'm limited on purpose of where I'm going. And I mean, how I'm moving. And I think I understand marketing. I understand how to promote. I understand how to get to bring other people in and to get them to engage. I understand all of that. But there has to be, I don't know if I want to do that. You feel me? Like, I don't really like to. It's almost, I'll give you the analogy of what I said the other day, and then I'm going to go to the phone lines. Someone's holding and other people are calling. It's almost like what I said the other day about the sports channel. I don't really want to do sports because I don't know if the risk is worth the reward. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know if I want to deal with comes with all the chaos and the arguing and the dysfunction of listening to people go back and forth. And I know what it leads to in that area. I know what it leads to. And I don't know if that risk is worth the reward because for me, I've never tried to make money at this. And if I was trying to make money at this, I'm well behind. And the only way to make money at this is to get people to be in, all different people to engage. And I don't know if I want to referee all that shit. I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure I want to referee all that, the stuff that's, I don't know if I want to do that. All right, let me go to the phone lines because a few people are calling. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah, it's your favorite caller of the year, almost twin.
Okay. What's up, man?
To be honest, on my daughter, man, I swear, I've got a radio station, to hype it up, to change the narrative and everything. And then after that, I go there because listen to the 15 whatever plus years of the same old remix. And here it is, 2025, 2026. 26, really, they ain't been making no noise, really. You got the same thing going on. So that I don't go there for attention and all that. I can get there anywhere. I don't go for that, man. I'm not that type of person. If you see me outside, I'm real laid back and everything, bobbing my head sometime. And, I'm laid back in that type of person. You be like, damn, he totally different from the radios. Yeah, I'm not. But the only reason why I go there, why I have to be honest and everything, to change the narrative because you get tired of it. You gotta switch it up, and I don't be want to listen to it. But if you saying something, you that person, or you against blacks, or you don't like women, or something, don't nobody want to hear that, man. Where y'all come from? Them weirdos to me, man.
Okay.
It's weirdos to me. So I don't, man. And then listen to you, or I get on other podcasts too, listen to them and everything, and get knowledge about something and all that. But I have to switch it up, and then thank God for you and stuff because I might not agree with you, might not agree with me, but at least this is where we stand at. And you had an output like, man, they've been doing this for the city of Cincinnati and all that. Oh, he just a coon. You just listen to the man and whatever, you'll see what they doing. And things hit you in the face. You're like, man, he was right. But they don't want to admit it that you was right. You got your own different perspective on how the city been treating the black community.
Well, let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, Twin, because I've heard you. Let me ask you a question because I've heard you say this before, but now let me be a little bit more specific in this where we're going here. Let me ask you, you're a frequent flyer of the radio station, right? You've won awards, everybody know you, whether they like you or dislike you. You're well known over there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now let me ask you a question. Do you honestly in your mind believe you've made a difference in anybody's life over there? Like, meaning you've changed their way of thinking based on your perspectives?
Because I can send you a list of text messages and people I meet in the store. They like 20 OGs too and fan ladies. Mm-hmm. They inbox the Twin, keep talking your shit.
Yeah, they do me the same way. They do me the same way. Wait a minute, hold on. I knew where you were going. They do me the same way, and I've caught a lot of them saying some crazy shit behind my back on camera and all that old shit, like on those clips. So that'd be some bullshit. There's a lot of people that reach out to you that don't mean you no good and be in the background talking to other people, and then on your messenger or when they see you in public, they be like,
I'm not gonna perpetrate the funk, man, but when I tell them in person, I say, man, that's just, social media. Now, I really don't do that. I just engage. I say, I'm just not for the BS, man. I sit down and people may not think because I do it on the radio, but people may not think I listen and stuff because that's my problem now that caused me certain situations is Twin was hard-headed. And I'm not going to kid. I was hard-headed, White. I didn't want to listen to nobody. I tried to do Twin way.
Yeah.
But, you live and you learn. And everything I had to learn, man, I can't keep doing it. Somebody be trying to tell me, but you don't know what you're telling. Shut up talking to me. But I had to realize my own self, bumping my own head, like, man, I gotta start listening. Even my own twin brother, and we think alike.
Damn, I could have sworn I heard this yesterday from you. Didn't you say the same shit yesterday?
I mean, I'm telling you how I feel, man.
No. I'm not suggesting that your feelings don't matter.
Monday.
It was not Monday. It was just yesterday. I'm telling you.
I thought it was Monday.
It's been a fast week, but I remember you saying, no, I don't mean it to be an insult. I'm saying, like, wherever we were in our conversation yesterday, it led to this same type of what made you say that again. I don't know, but I know it's not deja vu. I know you said that yesterday.
I don't like to express. I mean, I don't hold nothing back no more, man. I used to hold back and eat me alive, man. I just hold back and it's time to express myself. Certain things, I got a book, man. But I just had so much. I just, it's time to let certain things out, man. Because you can't, man, certain things I'll take to the grave. But if they keep biting me and holding my heart, I got to express myself about it. Because it's earth, man. I'm for the people. Day one, A1, man. But you're not going to keep on throwing that old crazy old propaganda. People are this way or that way. No, come on, man. You can't win like that. Doing that nonsense. Go ahead, Wyatt.
I agree, but
I'm sorry.
No, I agree. I'm just like, I had this conversation with Drop. I don't know if you heard the whole conversation, but I'm just wondering, like, what motivates you to call and say the things that you say, and you need to get this shit off your chest every day. I mean, I'm just curious.
What motivates me?
Huh?
what motivate me, because I know he gonna do some Jerry Springer show, and I'm gonna switch it up. He'll say something, keep talking that Trump talk or some other nonsense, and I get on there. That's not true. You want to keep it telling.
Now
When
here's
you
my
go
question.
speak the
Okay,
real about life,
okay,
man?
I hear you. Now let me ask you: when you say that and you disagree and you say that's not true, do you come back with a different? I mean, do you come back with something that's a little bit more reasonable other than what he's saying or what they're saying? And how, if so, do you think that you have convinced anyone that's listening?
No, because you know why?
Okay.
They got to keep that doggy bone going. If they bite off somebody that they don't even know, they got to stay with that doggy bone.
Okay,
they
wait a minute.
Eat.
Wait a minute. I'm not suggesting that you're trying to convince the host to think.
I ain't trying to convince nobody, but just like me, just like this, for example, I've been listening to Lincoln Webb for years, and I've been listening to you for like almost 5 years.
Damn,
but
I mean, you've been here.
If you come in there, radios,
I said you've been here pretty much since the beginning. Then I mean,
yeah.
Damn,
so if you,
I didn't know that.
If you threw me off a little bit, but if you go in that radio station, and he invite you in there, people don't want to hear the truth, Wyatt. They want to stay on. They want to invite the host. No, we need our host back. We ain't listen to this coon ass nigga.
What?
They would say we ain't listen to this coon ass nigga.
Okay. Let me be honest.
That's what they say.
Let me be honest with you. I honestly agree with you, but I believe. See, I know my lane. I mean, I know just as much as I know not to accept an invite like that. I know not to even offer myself. I know not to even be in a space where I'm not welcome. You know, the world is meant for different opinions and different people and different ways we see things. That's what keeps the world going around. There's enough people on this planet to be able to stay in your lane and be successful. There's enough people on this planet for other people to stay in their lane. And how did that happen? I got you, bro. Don't worry about it. I got you. I can only take one call at a time. I'll get to it. There's enough people. It's just like when people be like, bro, we got to get all the money. We got to get this. We got to get that. A lot of people think that if other people participate and start doing business, or, if we got to share some of the spotlight, that it'll take spotlight totally off of you. Or if you get some of the money, then I'm going to be losing all of the money. And a lot of people don't understand that there's so much out here that it's enough for everybody. And there's a lot of people that just don't really, so when it comes down to help, like the only person, and I don't even mean this as a shot, because y'all know it's not really a shot. I've said this on the show before. The only person I've ever dealt with in this podcast / communication radio or whatever world, the only person I've ever dealt with that was pretty much a straight shooter with me was Emmanuel. And him and I don't see eye to eye on all topics, and we don't we don't have the same beliefs on everything. But he's the only one who accepted my opinions and who I am and seen me for an individual versus.
That's what I'll be talking about. Why you just be grown ass people? Why you just can't accept the fact?
And I
don't agree with you. I don't agree with that. You don't agree with me. Okay, you just a Trump. You just against women. And come on, man, when that exists? Y'all just come with this craziness, man. It makes me want to just, man.
What you don't understand, what you don't understand is that's
weirdo type mentality.
Can I say? Let me just say it to you, and I hope Drop is listening. That's what I try to avoid, and it's not hard to avoid it. I just don't indulge myself in that lane. It's very easy to not be called a coon. It's very easy not to be called whatever it is that might offend you. It's very easy not to be in those lanes. I avoid it. So why in the hell would I go poke my fingers or my nose or my body in a lane that does not accept my way of living or my principles and morals, or don't believe in what I'm talking about, or have to challenge everything, that's almost like saying, I'm going to take on a challenge every day, even though it's not necessary.
Right.
I mean, why would I take on an unnecessary challenge when there's people that are hungry for other information? There's people that really if what I say, this is what I like to say to you, twin, so that people can say it. If what I say doesn't benefit people, then be mad at me. Say I have all ill will intent. But nobody could say what I say over here involves malice. I don't it's a dead end run. That's not what I promote. I don't promote evil, nasty stuff like that. Everything that I pretty much talk about has some type of beginning end of, okay, it started this way, but it ended better. Or, you know what I'm saying? I'll show a situation of, okay, this is what's been said for so long, but this is what I realize. This is what I see. And it's only coming from a consistent base. Like if I say, I don't understand how y'all could call Cincinnati two different Cincinnatis when pretty much the way that you think is running, that piece of people are running your city. That just doesn't make sense to me. I don't understand, and this is maybe a little bit easier one. I don't understand how we can constantly call shooting the kids in the park gun violence. That don't make sense to me. I think we have people that use guns and we calling it gun violence, but we don't when you say gun, you take the face, you take the accountability, you take a lot of stuff out of the argument, because now you have something to focus on. And there's no way in hell you're barking up a tree that you'll never climb, saying you're going to get rid of guns. But you'll never get rid of all the guns. But if you put a face on it, put an account, put something on it that's achievable to stop, then that's a little bit better argument for me.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. So I'm not going to sit back and try to convince somebody we don't have a gun problem. I'm gonna say it a few times, but I'm not gonna sit back and go somewhere that when I say that, they look at me like I'm plumb dumb. I'm not gonna go. I'm not gonna walk in that. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, that was I'm gonna hurry up and get up off
Okay,
here.
bro, because I got calls coming.
But that year Kenya Martin went, man. Wasn't that guard? Who was that guard? Logan for them?
Steve Logan, I remember him.
He was there, right?
I don't know if Steve Logan may have been there. That year. Steve Logan, I believe, was there when Kenya Martin was there. Yeah.
Yeah, they was on the run, because I thought they was gonna win that, but after he broke his leg, he was done daughter, man.
Yeah, it was tough.
Yeah, that messed up a lot of people, board or whatever, bracket or whatever. But yeah, that was a good team that 1 year.
That was the closest we've ever come to a national championship since I had been a Bearcat fan.
You think if Huggins was still here, you think Cincinnati be somewhere close to championship or something, or what you think?
I don't know. That's a good question, and the reason why I say I don't know is because Huggins didn't go anywhere else, like to West Virginia, and do any better. When he went off to West Virginia, he was bigger than the program. His name went over to West Virginia, and they said, here come Huggins. It's his ultimate, it's where he's from, and blah, 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 blah. But they didn't go to the tournament and win anything. They hadn't won. They didn't make any noise when Huggins went over there. He didn't recruit and make things better over there.
I mean, they made the only thing they did, made a couple of tournaments and everything. He brought them there, but other than that, you're right here, but nice engaging with
you. Brother, I appreciate
I'm always keeping in touch. Hey, be safe, man.
All right, you too. Thanks for engaging. Be safe this weekend with all that snow hitting Cincinnati, man. All right, I've been missing a lot of calls, like 2-3 different numbers have been calling. I just want to say this for the record, guys. Anybody and everybody can call. I don't have a problem with that. But just to let you guys know, for people that may be new here, I only have one phone line. So if somebody's already on hold and I'm talking, I can't answer. You're going to go to voicemail, or it's, I don't know. It might ring over. I don't know what it does. I don't know. But if somebody's on the line and talking to us live, I can't answer you on the phone. So for callers, try to call once the line clears, because it's first come, first serve. and I hate this. This happens a lot. Somebody would be on the phone talking, and somebody's calling in back to 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 back. You know what I mean? And then I hang up with that person, and then some new number will call in right away after the person hang up, and I'll answer that phone call. And the person had been calling back to back to back to back, won't get, they'll think that I was skipping them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want you to think that's what I do on purpose. Let me go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with? Hold on. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
What's up, Wyatt? This is Black Lion.
B. What's up? What's up, Black Lion? What's good with you, brother? That was you I was talking about. I didn't want to miss that call, but you had Twin on the phone. And
yeah, I know. Hogging up all of the airtime. His belly already fat. Get off. You
were supposed to be the first call yesterday.
I know, man. I was listening and working, and the time was slipping as I was working, and then the conversation moved to a different segment, and I'm like, well, I'll get it. I'll get with it.
That's what's up, bro. What's on your mind today, bro? You've been holding for a couple days, so what's going on?
Yeah. I'm gonna get to it. I'm in Facebook jail right now.
Hey, wait.
So I couldn't.
Oh, okay. So you can't comment.
No, I can't comment in the chat room.
Okay, I was a little confused.
I made a comment today. It was Mark Twain said you niggas was 20 years behind and somebody reported me. But
I was wondering what you meant when you said you were blocked. I'm like, I didn't block you, brother. No,
you didn't block me. You probably didn't read the rest of it. I said Facebook. I'm blocked by Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah, Facebook got me in Facebook jail.
I got you.
So, and I'll be there until whenever they let me out. Or I gotta get a new name. This about my 5th, 7th age. Change my name. You know how hard it is to keep coming up with names that say Black Lion? God damn.
Well,
anyway.
All right, bro. What it do? What's happening?
It's all good. I wanted to touch bases on the Antoine and Corey, and I don't follow either one of them because both of them say very discouraging things about Black women.
I agree.
And I can't get down with them. Matter of fact, the show they had where they got into the beef, I only saw a brief segment of it. I was watching it and they started going at each other. Then I turned it off, like, are y'all trying to fight and all of that versus, having a civilized conversation, even if it's heated, but it's civilized. Y'all getting up talking about meet me in the back and I smack the shit out of you and all of that. I turned it off. I don't even know till the day what was the entire gist of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
However, I did see where Corey told him he was kissing the white man's ass.
Mm-hmm.
And Antoine's reply was, well, you sucking Black people,
Right.
And but it was real stupid, and I didn't see why Corey would have got mad off it. Let's clean up the language.
Yeah, I agree.
Corey said, you're placating to the white man. And then Antoine's response, as stupid as it is, well, you're placating to Black people. Well, you think he should. He's a Black man. He should placate to his own people. He should be on that team. He should see his mother, his father, his sons and daughters and people in a different perspective than everyone else. So it was a really stupid comeback for Antoine in lieu of what he was being accused of, placating to a whole other race. And I got to add this. We use the term coon, sellout, and all of these other terms. But the idea and concept is old. It's as old as the Moors. The Moors are the most historical Black sellout traders to Black civilization that there ever had been.
You might want to slow down a little bit, brother. There's some people that don't really know what you're talking about. Now, there's some people that know what you're saying, so you might want to elaborate a little bit on what you're saying.
Okay, yeah, because
I got time. Go ahead.
Yeah, okay. The Moors are Black civilization, and they're most famous for ruling over Europe. And intellectual Black people always use them when they talk about Black people being slaves. When Caucasians say y'all were slaves and we enslaved you, we always remind them that the Moors enslaved you. However, the Moors did take over Europe, but they were doing it to be like them, to be amongst them, not to rule over them and crush them for the great empire of black people,
Right.
the great black civilization and their ancestors.
They were
And they
adopting
was
the
more,
capitalistic way of living, and they wanted the Western Union way, Western civilization way of living. They wanted to adapt that.
well, it was wild because they didn't have the Western civilization so-called yet. They didn't have it until the Moors educated them, taught them how to wash their ass, how to read and write, educate themselves,
Yeah,
brought
I'm
them
talking
science
about
and
the broader
technology.
system. I'm talking about how they were conducting themselves as far as the broader system, being able to conduct themselves in a business manner, not the civilization itself. You know what I'm talking about?
Okay, yeah.
How they would
Well, you're correct.
structure,
Well, you're
yeah,
correct.
how they
You're correct.
structured,
Yeah.
bringing it to today's terms, how they structured their communities, how they structured, you know what I'm saying? How they structured themselves. That's what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And Ms. Denise, I'm gonna get to that point too, where Ms. Davis said the Moors helped enslave and colonize on behalf of Europe. They did, and before it was Europe, they was doing it for the Arabs, and they were enslaving their own race and people, running the slave trade to Europe, to Arabia and Iraq. They wanted to be so much like the mulattoes so bad. And I keep telling people, if you take a Greco-Roman, take a Spaniard, not these these Latins you see, not Italians you see here, those are made it out. And if you go back and look at the photographs of the Italians coming to America in the early 1900s, you clearly see they don't look like Joey Pesci. They don't look like Sylvester Stallone. They look like Hispanics. And I often would say, if you would take one of these Italians, these Greco-Romans, and you put a turban on them and sit them on a camel, what do you got? You have an Arab. They look just the same. There's really no difference. Only difference is their language. But the Moors wanted to be like those people, wanted to look like them people, was in love with their women, etc. And they committed some of the most heinous, treasonistic acts against Africa ever to be known. They set the cornerstone, they set the ball rolling for later the Anglo-Saxons to produce the transatlantic slave trade. But that's neither here nor there. My point is, the term or the concept of treason is an accurate term to be used. Now, we might say sell out or coon. We might use those, slang terms. But even Caucasians got a term for it. They call it treason or traitors because it's a real thing. It's a real concept. And most countries have laws that if you commit treason against a people in a country, you're going to prison. You're getting locked up. You're doing time, and if not the death penalty. And it's a good point. It's a good law. It's a good reason they have those laws. We don't have the balance of power where we could extract those same punishments against our people for committing treason, even though we should. Now, this is a question, Wyatt. Do you think countries should have laws against committing treason?
I thought they do. You say countries, right?
Yeah, countries.
Yeah,
they do have them.
I believe.
But my question is, do you think they should?
Yeah, for the protection of their own people. I believe that there's going to always
it makes sense, right?
Yeah,
it makes sense, right?
Always going to be some people that's going to infiltrate the bigger picture, for selfish reasons or whatever the reason may be. Yeah, I believe that treason should be handled in one kind of way, and I don't know if it's death. I don't know if I would agree on that.
Well, they have a death penalty for treason. There is one.
Yeah, I mean, you asked me if I agree with it, right?
Okay,
if it should be. Now, I don't know if I agree with it because I don't know how this sounds to some people, Black Lion, but I know that knowing you're going to die could be a fearful thing for some people, but some people are not afraid to die. And then there's some people that not only are they not afraid to die, dying might be the easiest thing to deal with. That might be the easy way out for some people. That's why.
Yeah, that's the easy way out. Because some of these motherfuckers got to suffer.
Yeah,
death is too good for you.
Exactly.
So I understand your perspective, and it makes sense, and I totally understand it. But we are in agreement that there should be some penalty for treason.
I agree with that. Yes.
Okay, my point in saying that is to say, see, we don't have no penalty for house Negroes. There is none. The only penalty they get levied is being called a coon or a sellout. That they are working on the behalf of others for the betterment of those others against your own people, your own country, your own nation, your own race.
Okay, that's
We
fair.
don't have penalties for that.
Let's break it down to black and white people in this argument. Let's just be real specific, because right now, when you say there's no penalty for treason, that's broad. That means that's just, we're talking about the United States of America, right? Or are you talking about everywhere?
No. You misunderstood me, Wyatt.
Okay, go ahead.
America has penalties for committing treason, for being a traitor to America.
Okay,
Black people don't have penalties to extract on other Black people for being traitors to Black people.
Yeah, don't you think that there has to be a system in place to be considered ours? Okay, specifically, like, I don't want to make it, I want to keep it real simple and say,
you don't even have to expand. I agree with you. Yes, there needs to be a system in place.
But just for everybody, okay, I know you caught me, but let me put it out there for other people. If we're going to have a treasonous penalty, we got to have rules and regulations to be treason on, right? If we don't see things the same way and we don't have that same, if we don't have a rule book, and how could you hold us treason? You can't have penalties. We can't suffer penalties without having any rules or regulations. That's kind of what I'm saying. So if we get those rules and regulations in place, we can put up those boundaries and those penalties that you're talking about.
I agree with you.
So we need that first, right?
Yeah, yes, I agree with you. You're correct. That was one of the reasons why I said we don't have a structure where we can execute these particular laws and bylaws.
But you know what?
We don't have the power for us to be able to hold others accountable for committing these particular acts.
But now let me tell you something that is funny. I mean, the irony, it's funny. If you look at every other race of people that come to this country, whether they're here now or migrated here, most of them bring a flag, don't they? They bring some type of culture with them, and they have that to stand on. Some type of belief.
Yeah.
Some type
yes,
of belief.
They do.
Some type of belief. And in that belief, it has a moral compass. It has something in their background that says, well, my grandmother and them believe this in the old land. Remember, you know how they say the old land. Shit like that.
The old ways. Yeah, I remember that. But why? I got to interject. They might as well throw that shit out the window because they committed treason against those people when they came here.
Yeah, but
see, we the only people who didn't do that. And let's just say the so-called initial Caucasians who came here wasn't committing treason to their homeland. They were so-called expanding their homeland. It wasn't until the Revolutionary War that they began to commit treason against their homeland.
Well,
now everyone following after that, when they came to the Americas, they was foregoing their mother and fatherland.
Let me ask you something. How were they committing treason, in your opinion, once they came to America? How were they committing treason against their own land? So how does Mexicans commit treason against their own land? Just by coming to America?
They abandoned their country.
Okay.
They both join another country.
That makes sense, because I'm under the impression that treason means you do something with malice, or you do something to intentionally interrupt what they're doing over there, or you set something up to fail. I could see how treason could fall. I could see how.
Those are other guidelines within treason, that you just pointed out.
Yeah.
Those are other subsidiaries. But just the fact you defected from your country.
I can agree with that. I can agree with that.
To be your good persons like Africans, they got a thing called the brain drain. And that's where the academic achievers leave the country and go live in Europe and America and support those particular countries' industries and country, and produce and use their academic abilities for the betterment of that other country versus for their own homeland.
Dig that.
It's treason.
I got you.
You know, you're doing something that completely undermines the development of your ancestors and their land.
That makes sense.
And people. So I went in all of that to say people like motherfucking dropping twin and the list goes on, Wyatt, on. They able to spew the rhetoric they able to spew. Corey Holcomb, Antoine, they able to get away with that because we have no penalties to extract on them. They don't have anything to say. If I do this, it's going to be chopping head season. If I say this about my people, it's going to be a grievous price to pay. And in some places, they won't only just ask you out, they'll go to your home and go get your mama. Because she should have did it herself. They go get your father and your kids because we don't want that to breed. So right now they lucky. They can get their funky out. You can call black women all the bitches, black women all the black bitches you want, and then get away with it. Because there's no penalty that's going to be extracted against you when it should be.
But wait a minute, wouldn't you agree that there's probably been more people that talk about our women like that are rewarded with riches and wealth and
gangster rap.
It
was a long time before Wyatt I realized the detriment of gangster rap.
Yeah.
And I was on the ground level supporting it like we need this.
I've been saying that for a long time, brother.
But it took me a long time to get there, 40 years later, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's because, it's
to understand how detrimental it could be. Now, the initial gangster rap, it was some gangster stuff, but it may have a positive message on the other side, on the B side. I'm going to prison, I'm dead, my family, my money gone, whatever. After being glorified all these things. But it still opened the door for there to be no B side. It's only A side and then A side. And everything is the glorification of everything that's detrimental to us.
Right. It's sad.
And of course, when you're a teenager, you 17, you 18, you 22, your brain ain't really functioning. You can't grasp the long-term effect of that.
Yeah, no. I think we had a conversation.
And it took us a minute for us to realize this is detrimental.
No, we had a conversation on this show about that because somebody called in, I believe they called in or may have made a comment, and they were like, well, you used to DJ. And I've held my age group, our generation, accountable for hip hop music, like the rap, the dirty rap, the NWAs and the Too Shorts and all that.
Yeah, that's our generation. That's us.
Yeah, we pretty much co-signed and stamped that shit. And there was some people, specifically a black woman, who just felt like it was wrong. And we gave her the business. We gave her the blues about her fighting because we were calling, in the music, they were calling our women bitches and hoes and sluts and just degrading them. And now here's the repercussion. It becomes such normalized that not only do we do it heavily in the music, we do it on the videos, the music, television. And it's just a normal thing now. And it's gotten out of hand so bad, Black Lion, that I've heard music coming out of cities that glorify little dudes killing somebody and smoking them, literally smoking them. I mean, rolling them up and smoking them. And it's just, it's just crazy, brother. It's just crazy.
Where are they incinerating them to make them ass to smoke them? Like, you can't smoke something wet, but I don't understand. But okay, that's a wild notion. But you're right, Wyatt. We made a grievous error in our judgment. And that was our generation who co-signed it, produced it, was rapping it. That was us.
Yeah.
And hindsight 2020, we fucked up. It was a grievous mistake.
But that don't mean that it can't be fixed. It doesn't mean that it's harder because now we have a generation of kids that are just pretty much have been raised by that mentality where it's hard, bro, to peel back that onion. It's very hard to get one layer fixed and then go down and get the next layer because we've had parents from the mid 80s all the way through the 90s that are repercussions of what we started. And now it's pretty hard to fix that because a lot of the kids who are today, they're in a mindset where, elders can't really tell them anything, Black Lion. I mean, I've seen some videos that's very disturbing of, a lot of us was raised by our grandmothers back in the day, that. And I see kids today disrespecting their moms, disrespecting their grandmothers in ways that I never thought I would see kids do it. Not from us. Like when we was little, I used to see, it was always, you would see white kids arguing and cussing out their parents. You could
Oh
see
yeah.
that.
Yeah, you see them doing shit we would never
You
do.
would never do that in our community. Now, bro, they got videos out here, bro. These guys are going live and they smacking their mamas and they
Yeah, I've
crazy.
seen them, man, and I'm in shock and awe. And I keep saying that. Why we stay around these Caucasians so long, man, we become them. We commit some of the same acts they commit. Something you would normally only see them doing, now we're doing. I had never seen Black children falling out in the store. I only seen Caucasian kids doing that. Now I done start seeing Black kids doing it.
Yeah.
Like how we get here. And I strongly believe now. I took some beat downs. I took some ass whoopings as a kid. Some of them I believe just was wrong and harsh. But then as I grew up and I'm like, my mom is only 5'1", 5'2". What else you gonna do with me?
Right.
And I'm out here doing some things, man. And she put that extension cord on my ass. My point is saying that to say, some of us need them ass whoopings, Wyatt.
Yeah, but
some of us need to get hauled off and smack the shit out of.
You got children, Black Lion?
Yeah, they all adults, but yeah.
I know. We about the same age. I know that, but I'm just saying, did you grow up whooping your children, if I may ask?
My sons, yes. Then I had my two daughters later in my late 30s, 40s, no. And my sons are old enough to be my daughter's parent.
Oh.
And my sons would always say, man, she need a whooping, man. How come you ain't whooping her? We wouldn't got a whooping. And I'm like, when you get old, you learn this and that. But in some cases, I recognize, dog, I probably should have whooped your ass. You probably needed the whoopings.
Yeah.
But as I got older, I want to reason with you. You're very smart. You articulate. I believe in your intelligence and your sense of reasoning. Where these boys, I didn't believe in them. And plus, I was younger. That I'm just gonna whoop your ass. But with my daughters, not so.
Yeah. So you didn't touch the daughters, but the sons. Is it fair to say that you whooped your sons? Because look, bro, you and I both know we both got ass whoopings when we was kids, right? And I'm a firm believer that it don't necessarily work. I know, emotions kick in and this and that, but I don't think whoopings work. I think it's been a method used, but I don't think whoopings work. If they worked, I would only got one ass whooping in my life. You see what I'm saying? My mother would only had to whoop me once. It just doesn't quite work that way. I believe the reason why you worked it out with your daughters is the same reason you could have worked it out with your sons the same way. You didn't want to put your hands on girls because you didn't think it was appropriate to put the hands on girls. I don't know why
exactly.
I know, but at the same time, brother, if I may say, I don't think it's good to put our hands on our boys either. And the reason why that is because some boys take that type of behavior and they'll pass it on to whoever, boys and girls. I think that when we go to an aggressive, abusive way of dealing with our conflict of resolution, how we figure how to fix things. Granted, let me just say this to you with respect to you, specifically since I'm talking to you, because I'm not trying to point it out to you. I mean this sincerely. I don't have boys, so it's easier for me to say that. I've never had to whoop my daughters, so I understand your position of not wanting to put your hands on your daughters. It's probably easy for me to say what I'm saying because I never had any sons, and I know that it's probably different raising sons and daughters. You see what I'm saying?
It's a world of difference. It's a world of difference.
It's a world of difference. But here's the thing. I just, I'm not in a good space to say that I would have never whooped the son. Okay, I can't say that because I never had a son. But I'm just telling you, I wasn't a fan of whooping. I see fathers that whoop the shit out of their daughters, and I don't understand that. I don't get it.
I can dig that. Yeah,
I don't get it. All right, bro. What else you got? Is that it? I got calls coming in, but did you get it off?
I
your
don't want to
chest?
hold the line because I know you only got one line. Hey, Miss Johnson, how you doing? I see you there. I can't text in the chat because I'm in Facebook jail, but I see you. Big ups, Queen. Um, I'm gonna let you go, Wyatt, and we're gonna chop it up
Yeah,
and
don't be a
further
stranger.
this conversation because there was a couple points you had made that I wanted to address, but we've been up for 27 minutes and it took me forever to get in.
Yeah, I'm
I mean,
sorry
I
about
was,
that.
calling and calling, go straight to voicemail, and then Twin hogging up all of the airspace. But I want the other callers to get in. I'm be locked in until you in your radio career, and so we'll talk. We
All
will
right,
discuss it.
You know it ain't nothing but love over here.
Salute, my king.
All
Have
right,
a good
brother.
day.
You too. Thanks for engaging with us. Be careful in that snow up there, bro. I hear it's gonna get bad. It's gonna hit bad. Texas is gonna get hit. A few other places gonna get hit. Phone line is open. Feel free to call in. Feel free to express yourself. We were talking about a couple different things. I don't even know exactly where we are. I know that Twin said some things. I don't know if normally Black Lion would have piggybacked off something Twin was talking about, but Black Lion's been trying to get in for a couple days. He's been yesterday. I thought he was going to be the first one to call. He said he had to work. He had to do some things. Drop called in. He made some good references on the conversation of Antoine and Anton, excuse me, and Corey Holcomb. Some people think that I'm on the side of Anton. I just don't agree with what Corey Holcomb did to Anton. I just told y'all an hour ago that I don't really watch either show, but I've watched more of Anton than I've ever had of Corey Holcomb. The reason why I don't watch Corey Holcomb is because he's always trying to, he does a lot of dissing, not just Black women. He does a lot of dissing a lot of people. Like he stay in people's business. And sometimes he has great takes. Sometimes he'll talk about something that's in the media, something that's Hollywood related, and he'll have a different insight because he's been on tour and he may know some of these people. He may know how some of these people act away from stage or whatever, and it'll make sense to me. Like he had a different take on the Will and Jada that I remember. I don't remember verbatim what he said, but I remember how he was kind of saying some things about Jada, and I could relate to what he was saying. But then I just don't like it. It's just I don't like when it's all about pimps and hoes. I don't like when you think that the only reason why I just feel like when Corey Holcomb is talking about some things, sometime he approaches it in a cynical manner because he needs the entertainment is coming from a comedic point of view. Sometimes comedians could make a serious matter funny. That's what they do. Some things just aren't funny to me. So even a serious matter that you can maybe take some of the light out of it and make it, soften it up and add entertainment and add comedy to it. It's not there for me. I'll give you a perfect example, then I'm gonna go to the phone line. No matter how much beef you have with this Anton Daniel dude, I just think that it's not funny. It's totally out of line when you bring that man's family into it. When you talk about that man's family and then you put his underage daughter on the screen and you talk about how Black and ugly she is. Now, if anybody else would have done that, it would be some problems. And I'm not saying that everybody on here cosigns or is okay with what Corey Holcomb did. I'm not saying that just because y'all don't like Anton and you not saying anything about Corey Holcomb that you think that he didn't do anything wrong. I'm not quite like how you are. Just because I've gone in on Corey Holcomb, I've only gone in on Corey Holcomb for the simple fact that I wasn't even bringing this back up. I talked about what happened and I let it go. And a day later, he violates this man's look, I think there's a lot of lessons in what Corey Holcomb did to that young man. Think about it. If I would have to think to myself, like, damn, how you feel about me? Who do he think I am for him to come at me? Just say I'm a customer or somebody that loved Corey Holcomb and I watch his platform. I would be totally disgusted if he thought I was dumb enough to think that this was entertainment, or I'm shallow enough to think you put a brother, you put his daughter on the screen and you talk about how ugly she is. Tell him not to have no more daughters if they're gonna come out looking like this. And she gonna be buying she gonna be buying ass like he does. That's just, how could I support that? How can I support? How I can't. And if you think that I'm entertained by something like that, I gotta reevaluate who I subscribe to and what I think, how I support this person. That's all I can say. I think both of them were wrong. I think both of them did some 6th grade lunchroom shit. Who can insult who the hardest? That's what I think happened. And unfortunately, it's like anything else. It's just like us when we was growing up down the way. You got people that throw shit, and then when you throw something back at them, they ready to fight. And if you're gonna be the type of person that's gonna throw a bunch of stones, or if you're gonna be the type of person that's gonna try to intimidate people by barking and doing all that, or saying disrespectful stuff, then you might want to, deal with, be ready to deal with somebody that ain't going for that. Let me go to the phone lines. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Who am I speaking with?
Yeah. This is Ronald Dixon.
Ronald Dixon. What's good with you, brother? How you doing, man?
Oh, man, giving praise and thanks, staying out the way. I was just listening, I listen to you all the time, but when Black Lion was talking about, the kids and shit, there's girls, and he hit on his sons and not his daughter. I was a single daddy.
Okay.
In the smokestack. You know what I'm saying? I raised mine, and I had 2 other kids. I had one daughter, and I got a set of twins. And, I was always in their life, and I only spanked my kids. The twins, I never got them. I never got that ass.
The twins are the girls, bro?
Huh?
The twins are the girls, bro?
Nah, the girl and the boy.
Oh, okay. The twins are a boy and a girl. Okay, okay.
Yeah. And I raised Ronnie. He was with me. And he used to do little things. I always tell him, like, it's piling up. It's piling up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
A little thing here, little thing there. But I only had to pop my son. I got in his ass once. We would stand up on Peach Street, because I was a daddy that go get my son out the corner.
Mm-hmm.
You hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Come here, come on. Look, I got to go to work in the morning. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother story in itself.
Yeah.
But I popped him. Last time I popped him, he was 13. I made him pull his pants down, and I used my hand. That was the first time. The second time.
He was 13?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
He must have.
I was raising.
Wow, shit. It built up to that, huh? It built up.
I was fed up.
I got you.
I was fed up. So I hit him with 7 lashes with my hand over his ass. So when he got 16, we had a confrontation. But I never left my son. I never kicked him out. I used to have to go get him down from the park. And I remember the fire captain used to be like, man, you down here every day or every other day getting the same dude. I said, what you think I'm gonna do? What you think I'm supposed to do? Well, ain't you tired? I ain't never tired. That's mine. Now, whatever we do after this, you know, we had to come with two amends. You know, we learned, we got it together.
Right.
Because I told him, like, I ain't never been no daddy. Like, you ain't never been no son. You know, a nigga on the block on Armory, and Lynn taught me how to tie my tie going to just a little interview at Gold Star Chili. You hear me? I ain't know how to tie no tie. My uncles didn't show me all that. So, you know, I went to where I was at. But what I'm saying is, when it's coming to a young guy, man, it ain't easy. It ain't easy, even with women. You know, daughters and all. I ain't started driving till I was 38. I rode a bike everywhere I went. You know, straight through the bricks. But I'm still working and all. I just, you know, raising boys is different, man.
Yeah.
It's different. I had one of the little cats from Peach Street see me at the store the other day. I didn't even remember who he was. They 30, 34-year-olds now. They grown men. He said, I remember you, Mr. Dixon. He said, you stood on everything, and we seen you go to work and you stayed on your boy. I say, man, I ain't think about none of that. I was taking care of mine. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you know, that's all I had to say.
All right, bro. Well, I appreciate you, bro, standing up. Well, you did what you was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? As a father, you was there for your children. Single dad, that had to be tough. I'm never going to try to
What?
Yeah, I can't tell you that you can't, you know, that you were wrong for putting your hand. I ain't never been in that position, bro. I just, you know, I know that I got plenty of ass whoopings when I was little, but just one didn't work, you know, for me. I got multiple. It just made me slicker, slipperier, or, you know, sneakier. That's all it did. It just, you know.
Now, I was on him, dog, man. Look, I got to go to work. You got food here. Come on, he's sneaking out the house. You know, I gotta be up at 4. I'm talking about real shit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I ain't got no car. I'm getting called from work. I got to catch 2 buses to get to the school to check him with, you know, all that, walking in the snow, the whole 9.
Yeah.
But today, that's my cat.
Yeah. How's he doing? How old is he now?
Ronnie will be 34.
Let me ask you, does he have any kids? He have any kids yet?
Huh?
Does he have any kids yet?
Yeah, he got 4 girls.
Let me tell you, I bet you Ronnie a hell of a daddy.
What?
You hear me? You know where he got that from? I'm talking to him.
I'm proud of him.
Bless you, bro. Bless you. I bet you Ronnie is a hell of a father. Because you learn how to be a daddy from your daddy. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Much love
Man, he
to
took
you.
me a surprise birthday party.
Yeah.
How he got that together?
Yeah.
2 on.
Dig that.
He said, and let me tell you this before I get off.
Go ahead.
He said, Pops, he called me Pops. As long as I can remember, you always been there, and I ain't gonna never see a day without you from here on out.
Dig that.
Bruh.
Dig that.
He a good daddy, man. He do what he's supposed to do.
Yeah. Well, he learned from the best.
He one of them guys, what you say, good, bad guy?
Yeah. Yeah. He learned from the best, Ron. Appreciate you calling in, man. You got anything else?
Nah, I just love them all people. And we got.
Them the stories we need, brother. Those are the stories we need right there, okay? Thank you for giving us that energy, man. It shifts the room for me. It shifts the whole room for me. Thank you.
I ain't making that up.
All right. I don't think so. I believe it because I believe, Ronnie, I believe your son is probably a hell of a dad because of you. Appreciate you, brother. All right.
Respect. 1.
Don't be a stranger. Thanks for engaging. All right, bro. Phone line is open. Yeah, I need them type of stories because they always talking about how black men don't take care of their kids and shit like that. I've been new. Like, I know we got some, but everybody got some. You know, every race got some. But to have that stigma on us of we don't take care of our kids. Now, there is a number out there that shows that our women are battling this raising children by themselves shit. You know, and I do believe, like in Ron's case, it's important that we have men raising. And I used to say this. I used to say, boy, it's important for a man to raise a son. No, I was wrong. I mean, I'm right there, but I'm wrong in my assessment of thinking that it's a man it's only important for a man to raise a boy. I don't know if I ever said it that way, but I may have come off that way. No, I have daughters. And let me just say this to my brothers, man. I'll be honest. I know some people are going to say, well, both. It's obvious, both. But I'll be obvious. I'll be honest. I don't know if it's more important for a man to raise his daughters or if a man should be raising his sons. And I know that sounds crazy for some people because the average person be like, well, it's important that a man raises, it doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's a boy or a girl, just raise your kid. And I agree with that. But I'm talking about from the technical standpoint of, do we need more young men that are raised by their dads? Or do we need more young ladies that are raised by their dads? See, I believe this. I believe that what's more, and this is going to probably hurt a little bit. Maybe people won't agree with it. This is just my assessment. I believe if there's two children that may have low self-esteem that can be affected by society, I believe that it's more detrimental if a little girl is in that position. Agree with me or not, that's just my opinion. A little girl has way more going on that can go wrong in a person's life. I believe that if you have a little girl that has low self-esteem and does not have a father figure in her head, and don't see, a father is not just supposed to be daddy. He's supposed to be an example of how a man is supposed to be in a woman's life. Okay? So her selection of a man is supposed to be somewhat of the father that she's been raised by. Now, we could say the same thing about a young man, but here's the catch, in my opinion. I believe that a young man can adapt a lot easier than a young lady can when it comes down to making the adjustment of later in life of what I need to do to adjust to the situation. And what I mean by that is this. If you have a young lady who lets a young guy come around and fool her and trick her into everything and make her feel special, make her fall in love with all the wrong person, her life could be different very early, dealing with so many different men. But if you have that same young man that can't really get the attention because the young lady is schooled, she's already knowing you're not at my level. I need somebody in my life that's going to school, that's trying to do something with his life because my daddy taught me to have that type of man. I think that young man can make those adjustments and say, I can't get no play out here. I can't get a young lady. I got to do what I got to do to be in the ball game. Do you understand what I'm saying? I just think that once a young lady is not in the ball game anymore, she can become prey to that lifestyle. Prey. But I think a young man that's not accepted by dysfunction and disorder, and the young ladies won't give him any time of day because he's a guy out on the street and he's a street dude, and these young ladies don't want to be bothered with them guys. If you ain't over at Cincinnati State or UC, or if you ain't in a trader's, working in a trade or working to do something with yourself, I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time for no men like that. If a lot of young men heard that, I know how I was. I'm going to make the adjustment. I'm going to figure out what I got to do to be sought out by the women. Like, what do I need to do? Okay. Because we do it now. That's why you got so many dudes in the club flashing money and buying bottles. It's impressive, but it's impressive to a certain type of woman. It's impressive. They trying to impress the girls, the women. They trying to impress one another. They trying to impress low self-esteem people, in my opinion. They're trying to impress somebody that's just after them for the money and the dough, and they have very little standards. The only standard in that type of lifestyle is how much money you got, not how you taking care of your kids and all that old shit. That's not even in the picture. It's not how you taking care of your kids that you're not raising. It's how you gonna take care of me. That's what they thinking. And as long as we have people that's thinking like that, then the kids that are not being taken care of continue not to be taken care of, because that man has no shame that he's not taking care of. His life is not stopping. His lifestyle, the way he see things, the way what's available to him, all of that, it doesn't change, because there's always going to be some takers to that lifestyle. Now, if our young ladies, and I know this sounds like I'm blaming our young ladies, I'm not. It take a man for those young ladies to be, it took a man's absence for those young ladies to be the way they are. So of course you have to blame the man first. I'm not suggesting, I mean, there's always going to be exceptions to whatever rule. I'm not suggesting that a nice girl raised in a nice, wholesome home that had a mother and a daddy didn't get pregnant by the little dude down the street who had a mother and a father and a daddy. I'm not suggesting those things don't happen. But let me tell you what I seen one time, if it matters, and then I'll go straight to the phone lines. What I seen one time was a church family, two different families. I witnessed this. I witnessed a young man get a young woman pregnant at church, not in church, but they were church folks. You know what I'm saying? They were church folks. And the young man was raised by his mother and his father. The young lady was raised by her mother and her father, and they connected. They had a child out of wedlock. They were coming out of high school, and the young man took on that responsibility because he had a father, he had a family that made him go off. He went off on a scholarship for basketball, and he kept his family first. They ended up being together. They tried to make it work out. They did what they thought the word was, or the godly way of doing things. Not to mention they broke the godly rule. But that's here and there. That happens. They were kids. But they had the principles, the morals and the principles behind them to try to make good on what they had done that created this situation. The young man went off on a scholarship to play basketball. He took care of his kids, and him and that young lady ended up being together. And I don't know how long it lasted or whatever. I didn't keep up with him like that. But all I'm saying to you is at least that type of situation stood a chance. Do you know? I watched it. A lot of us watched it. Mama Birch, you've seen this. Do you know how difficult it is to see a young lady, 22 years old with 3 kids? Do you know how hard it is to see an 18-year-old girl dragging 2 or 3 kids down to the courthouse? Whenever I see stuff like that, I ain't even going to lie to you. And I know this might sound a little disrespectful to some people, but when I see a young lady down there dragging 3 kids, got one in her arm, got one on her, one in a car seat. When I see that, I say to myself, I would never say this out loud to anybody, but to the family here. I say to myself, when I see a young lady living like that, need I say there's multiple fathers? I say to myself, some man failed her. Some man failed her. A real man would never raise a daughter that has that type of low self-esteem, that she would deal with people that only want to physically be with her only, and she accept the man that only wants to be with her physically. And then maybe it happened one time, granted, but then it happens again, and then again. A man failed that young lady. The man failed the woman that he had this child with. But then not only did he fail that lady, he then failed the child that he had with that girl. There ain't no other way of saying that, y'all. Now we can say I'm whoever, you can call me whatever you want to call me, from all the C words all the way up to sellout. You can say whatever you want to say, but that's one of the major problems. And here's the thing. Just because I said that, that don't mean just Black people. White people do that same shit, but I'm not concerned. It wasn't a whole bunch of white people living in law homes and Lincoln courts. So I never concerned myself with how they moving, and I've never used their actions and how they move to explain what I need to do or what we need to do. I ain't never used them in my argument. That's the difference between hearing me hold someone accountable. Why I need to hold somebody that don't mean really. If I'm going to be seen in the eyes of being a black man and things that happen to the black community are a reflection of me, then why shouldn't I have concerns about how it's? Why shouldn't I? Because you got to understand, if all our black men, and this is just a broad statement, y'all know I don't mean this, but if all black men were seen as being criminals, which they're not, get off that shit. If all black men were seen as being criminals, don't you think I have the responsibility of raising non-criminal black kids and then trying to straighten up some that are around me saying, hey bro, not over here, we not doing that over here? I have an I have a responsibility because of how it makes me look. Now I know some of y'all be like, man, no, you can't fall for that. Yes, you can. Because the same little kid that's running around here that don't look like, he may dress like that thug, but he may not be a thug. Now you got the police who's running into thugs who he got on black pants and a black hoodie. He got his hoodie on. Now the police is treating every little black kid that fits that description just like that one thug. And the reason why they doing that is because that's the element they dealing in. They dealing with the thug. Now, if the perception is all of our kids are thugs, then I gotta stop I gotta clean the perception up. And some of y'all might think we can't do that, but yes, we can. Yes, we can. Because perception can be wrong. Perceptions can be wrong. But you try telling that to a kid that's in the morgue, to a family whose kid is in the morgue, that perception can be wrong. Perception is reality to some people. Let me go to the phone lines before we get out of here. Good afternoon, caller. Oh, just to let you guys know, I'll be on tomorrow at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. tomorrow, Saturday show at 9 a.m. Share it and let people know. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, good afternoon, Wyatt. I know my voice is raspy. I'm getting over a cold.
Uh-oh. All right. Well, at least you're getting over it.
This is Alethea. Yeah,
What's
I
good,
am
sis?
getting over. I still just had that lingering cough. That is just so annoying.
Yeah, I know. I got you. I know that.
We went out to that Connecticut in that weather. It was just so cold. It was just a different cold. You know, same temperature. It was just a different cold. Like it was freezing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, anyways.
Yeah, what's on your mind?
I just really wanted to share some news with you.
Okay.
And I think it'll be a really good idea. I know it's getting cold now, but in the summertime, you used to host those live shows. Mm-hmm. And my dear brother, Rodrigo Williams, just opened up his restaurant at the College Station.
Yeah. That's
in North College Hill. And they have a huge facility that I know will be wonderful for you to hold your live. They have the pickleball, they have indoor, outdoor, the TVs are huge, amazing. And it's a very diverse crowd and it's family oriented. So that's why I think that'd be great for you.
That's what's
also,
I've seen it. I've seen it. I've seen the pictures.
You did see it?
Yeah, I know.
He did a very good job.
Yeah, I've seen it, and it's open now, and they've had some game. You know, they've gone over and had some playoff football games there, and I'm wishing him well. I know it's a nice spot, and I look forward to getting to it when I get up to the city.
Yes, that's I really want you to go and check it out.
Yeah, he's done some things for. I mean, you know, like he's opened his doors for me before, not for the Wyatt Live, not for what we're doing here now, but him and I have done some things in the promotion in the boxing world. I've had some weigh-ins and some stuff like that at his facility. He's a good brother, and we always acknowledge one another's, you know, He's a businessman.
Achievement.
So, yeah. Yeah.
Y'all both very similar with your success of how you give back to the community, which is amazing. So that's why
he's an amazing guy. He really is. He's a good guy. He is.
We actually, I mean, he's such a good guy. I always write him and text him and stuff. You know, I'm proud of you. And I don't know if you know, but he bought the lumber yard over there in Norwood, Huber Lumber.
No.
And now he's introducing like doors and windows and other things. So if anybody building houses or decks or whatever, you know, they could go and support a brother over in Norwood. And then also, I wanted to let you know about the carpentry. It just was approved through Job and Family Services, where they'll be willing to pay for a 12-week apprenticeship through RWB, through their training program.
Really?
A 12-week program, yes, that will get you started with the trade. So if you know anybody, you know, needed to pick up a trade and
say that again, sis. Say that
it's
again.
Called the RWB. It's a carpentry apprenticeship.
Okay.
And Job and Family Services actually will help pay for you to complete this program with him to help get their trade under their belt.
Okay. Sounds cool.
Yes. So that's another thing. And they have it on their website for RWB, or how you can get approved for all this stuff. So I think it was just great to put on your podcast, because I do remember you shouting him out maybe like a year or two ago, when he was getting a lot of the contracts for the rebuilds of the homes in our neighborhoods. And he's been doing wonderful. And you could tell that he just put back into his own company and starting to expand. And the company is very diverse. Like if you go onto one of the sites, you will definitely, some people say, you know, you see all Mexicans, but you don't. It's very, very diverse of who he has working with him. And I feel like it shows his development as a business owner in the city of Cincinnati. So we should all support someone like that.
I agree.
So that's what I felt like. I just wanted to give some good news in your whole debate today. It seemed like it was a lot of yelling and fighting today. So I was like, let me give some good news out there, sprinkle it a little bit.
What? Did I miss something? I didn't hear a lot
No,
of
you
fighting.
didn't. You didn't. You know, it's always a cat fight in the chat. You know that.
Oh, I wasn't reading the chat like that. So,
yeah. It's always something that's going on. But I just thought I'll sprinkle a little good news that's happening in the city of Cincinnati. And I think it's always important that we uplift the people who could be taking their business elsewhere, but they're putting it here. So that's very respectful of that young man. And then I'm looking forward to you going back to your lives. I think that will be a wonderful place to do that.
Yeah. I look forward to it. 26 is gonna be a little bit different. We're doing the show tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock. So I'll be here at 9 and
so is this an additional day? Are you taking away from one of the days in the week?
This is just an experiment. Just gonna talk a little bit tomorrow and see what we got going on. People been asking for a Saturday thing. There's nothing going on Saturdays. Y'all got a lot of snow coming in up there, and I figure why don't we just get comfortable together and maybe talk a little bit. Maybe it'll be really positive. I don't even know what we're gonna talk about yet. I generally try to have conversations that are somewhat positive. They veer off a lot because, you know, it's hard to have a conversation sometimes and keep it all the way positive without putting some strain in it. You know, there's always going to be a process at getting things right. Sometimes you have to explain to people that, it's going to be a little bit difficult, and here's the reason why. And you've been told that you can't do it, but you really can. You know, that type of stuff. We'll see how it work out. We'll see.
Yeah, you always giving out gems and giving out gems on a Saturday. Get them pumped for Monday. They'll be ready.
I'm hoping.
Because I followed everything you told me to do, and it's now up and running. I'll give you the information. I'll give you all the details.
Well, good luck in your new adventure, and I'm sure you and Bro will make it happen. And whatever I can do, I'm here.
Thank you. And also, when you go live, when you do your podcast tomorrow, go live at poolside, since we looking for all this snow.
I wouldn't do that. See, that would be a flex for some people. You know what I'm saying? Like, can you imagine that? Y'all getting a ton of snow up in Cincinnati, even in Texas, and I'm sitting at the pool. People would be thinking that's a flex.
Sit at the pool. Yeah, just show everybody
I got enough haters right now, sis. I got enough.
True. Okay, don't do it. Don't do it.
They'll think I'm flexing.
Well, I love you, my brother. I just wanted to share the good news that's happening in this city.
All right, sis. I appreciate you coming in.
Have a great night.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you soon. All right. Appreciate you engaging with us. Yeah, we're gonna do. I was thinking about 10, but we're gonna do 9 because people are gonna be catching snowflakes up in Cincinnati, I believe. Let me see the TV. I believe y'all are gonna be catching snowflakes. Where's the remote? Oh, here it is. I think you guys are gonna be catching snowflakes around 2 o'clock. So I don't want to be in the way of you out getting your salt, getting your the things that you need to get your driveways cleaned up and fixed and ready to go. Um, I don't want to stand in the way of that. And you should probably be out there a couple hours before the snow hit. So you should probably be ready to attack by noon. Get you some salt out on the street. I mean, in your driveways and all that stuff before the snow actually comes. And be prepped for it. Proactively treat your yard, your walkways and your driveways before the snow actually hit. I mean, they're talking about like 8 to 10 inches in Cincinnati. See, this is why I don't know. I did a lot growing up in Cincinnati. Shoveling snow and all that type of stuff was not my thing. Now I made a few bucks doing it. Maybe that's why I can't stand it now. I went out and shoveled driveways and walkways and stuff as a kid to earn a few dollars, and always found a little hustle of some sort, you know. If I was Somebody asked me the other day if I was starting over, if I was an entrepreneur, what would I do? I said to them, what wouldn't I do? Today's world is set up so easy for people to be anything. Like they have software, like apps, where you can walk down the street. You don't have to live in a community to service a community. Okay. You don't have to live in a community to service it. A lot of people who make money out of your community don't even live there. And don't even talk about black folks, because most of the business owners in black communities don't even live there. So we should definitely have the concept of, I'm going to snatch me some Mason money. I'm going to snatch me some Butler County money. I'm going to snatch me this. Listen, if I can give you low startup cost business ideas right now, but you have to be willing to work. You have to be willing to work. There's no reason why in hell someone shouldn't go buy a $300 or maybe a nicer one, $400 pressure washer and not get them a little bitty truck or something of that nature, or even a car starting out with a trailer on it. Pressure washer. And go out and spray homes down from driveways to side aluminum or, doors, porches. People need that work done. And they'll pay $99, $99.99. And then you start adding on the little $10 here to $10 there, and you walk away with $200 and you spray the house, and it took you an hour and a half, took you 2 hours. You made $100 an hour. On to the next. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to do 5 homes in a day. 5 homes in a day. There's no reason why you couldn't do that. That's the way I think. I think small, but growth. There's no reason why you can't get a $40 shovel or a $200 snowblower. I got a brother, y'all know him. He's from down the way. He has a moving company. He's diversified his little company a little bit. And I don't mean little like that. I mean, he's done some things where he started out hauling off junk. That's what he called it, junk removal. Hauled off junk. Now he's moving people. See what I'm saying? What you start out with, how you start is not how it's going to finish. there's so many other avenues that he can go into. I got this company that I deal with out of I forgot exactly. It's like out of Middletown, Ohio. Don't know exactly the name of the street. It's in Middletown. And I've purchased several containers from them, large containers, shipping containers. You'd wonder, what you gonna do with shipping containers? Wyatt? My wife, I'm probably the hardest person in the world to be married to, because I see opportunity and I see something and I'll start it. And I'm the type of guy that'll stay up all night strategizing. And once I sink my teeth into it, I'm pretty much on it. So I've been saying to myself, like, I've had 3 people look for storage units. They've been looking at storage units for a while. And I'm saying to myself, there's a reason why a ton of these little storage places are starting to pop up. There's a need. I don't know why it's such a heavy need. It doesn't matter why. I'm not paying attention to the why. I'm paying attention to the need. And I looked at myself and I said, I did an evaluation, and I'm going to share this with you guys right here live on the air. I did an evaluation of how much it cost me to buy one container. And through measurement, I can get 4 storage bins in one container. And I said to myself, well, this storage container, if it's occupied, pays for itself in 6 months. Now, after 6 months, now everything is gravy, other than the work that it takes to maintain and do what you do. It pays for itself in 6 months. Tony said, large containers. Who you killed, Wyatt? Who did you kill, Wyatt? No, containers are valuable. They're valuable in so many different ways. Now, I'm going to call my buddy. He don't know I'm going to call him yet. And I'm going to say, hey, man, I got this land over in such and such. I'm thinking about putting about 10 containers over there, and I'm going to turn them into storage bins. Now, you can offer to your customers. You do moving and hauling and all that, moving people and hauling their junk and this and this and that. Now you can offer, pods. All he did was piggyback off my initial investment. Now he's charging people to bring their stuff over to the pod. Well, the pod will go to them. They store it, put the stuff in it, and then he brings it over to the land, to the storage bin. Now you got 2 brothers working together. He did his thing. I do my thing. This is how you work together. This is how you make things happen and you build with one another. And you're not in competition. We laterally did business with one another, not being in competition. When he succeeds, I succeed. When I succeed, he succeeds. Explain to me why is this? I don't understand how this is difficult. It's almost like if I knew he had a hardware store, why would I go buy my shovels anywhere else that I'm going to be shoveling snow? He has the shovels. He calls me, hey, I got my shipment of shovels in, bro. I got 15 of them on the side for you. We got to learn how to co-op like that. We have to learn how to co-op like that. I'm not suggesting that it's not happening. I just would love to hear it more often. Like my man Ron called in and said, I'm a single dad. And, I need that. I need more of that. Because what we get a whole lot of failure. We get a whole lot of how fucked up it is out here. We get a whole lot of wrong and not enough right. And then it makes it so easy for people to come in bitching and complaining, because if all you ever see, it don't even have to happen to you. It don't have to happen. The disruption, the dysfunction, all this ugly shit don't have to happen to you. But if you see enough of it, guess what happens? That's what you speak on. Your life ain't even filled with all that chaos. You just adopted it. because you see so much of it. Now that you see it, now it becomes part of your life. Crazy. Let me take this last phone call before I get out of here. I got to go. Good afternoon, caller. This is Wyatt. Who am I speaking with?
Hey, man. Hey, man. This is CK, man.
CK.
Hey, Wyatt. This is CK.
I heard you. What's good, CK? How you doing, brother?
Hey, man. Thank you for preparing us for the winter advisory, sir. Oh, my God. I have to work, sir, and I'm terrified.
You have to work?
Yes, I admitted to other men that I work with. I have fear in my heart about this weekend because I have to come in. And then at the staff meeting today, guess what happened, sir? They offering up to $400 for those who are not scheduled to come in.
Wait a minute. Yes. After you've already volunteered, are you part of that $400?
No, I'm not volunteering, sir. I'm scheduled, sir.
Oh, you're scheduled.
So when they said that, I raised my hand up like a bitch ass nigga. I said, well, what about me? They said, you are already being paid for your scheduled services,
that's
sir.
Some bullshit there. I'm with you, bro. You ready to freak out on them, ain't you?
No, come on, man. I've been trained by the best. Randall Wyatt. He was smart enough to get his money and get the F out of Cincinnati because he don't want to deal with that snow. That's the people we respect. Tell them about it, sir.
Well, I agree with you. I didn't want to deal with that snow. But I do agree that it's wrong. I think it's wrong that you're on the schedule to work, but then they're going to pay people bonuses to come in and work who were off the schedule. That's crazy.
They have to try to get people to come in because they know I'm scared that I'm not going to be able to come in Sunday. And you know I pride myself, sir. You talk to me every day. I don't want to miss a day of work for nothing.
I feel you.
Unless my damn leg broke or something. You know how we get money.
I agree with you. Now, let me ask you something, CK. Is it all right if I ask what type of work
Man, I want all. You know I could take it all. I'm the realest nigga ever to be born. God made me like this.
What type of work is it, bro?
You know I deal with the people. I'm a healer, man. I deal with sick, fucked up, shot up accidents, all that shit.
Okay, so
I deal with people that's fucked up.
Be in some type of hospital or something.
There it is. Come on, man. They ain't give you straight A's for nothing. You figured that shit out quick.
I'm a C student, but okay. But anyway, let me ask you.
We was trained by the best. That nigga come out of right back. Yeah, I'm a C student. Man.
But wait a minute.
I like that. I'm gonna use that too. Okay, go ahead.
Let me ask you. If it's some type of hospital type of thing, don't they have facilities there for their employees to stay during bad weather?
And you see how that worked out for Michael Jackson, man. I'm too old. I got too many grades, man. You know, I'm a freak. Hey, I need to be in my house, sir. I'll just go home. I'm not getting caught up in no damn sexual scandals. My name is not Steve Harvey. No. I'm not R. Kelly, sir.
Okay.
You can't be sleeping. That's where it starts. Because soon as you sleeping with them grown folks, hey, little touchy-feely. And once she start making accusations, you know they gonna believe her, Wyatt. They've been waiting to bring your ass down. You do understand this, right?
Yeah, they after you, CK. I don't know why.
You too. I'm just saying you too. So don't put yourself in a position where you got to spend the night at work so you can get motherfucking affair allegations. Do you understand, sir?
Yeah.
That's why you moved your ass out of Cincinnati, because you knew what it was going to come to. How you all fighting for your life, innocent as hell. Dr. King, you see how they tore his damn legacy down after he died. Now he been with every damn woman known from goddamn ancient mama on up. That's what they do to you. So don't give them nothing. I'm going to come in and I'm going to pray. While I'm at work on Saturday, I'm going to pray. Remember, stop underestimating the prayers. It saved you and your whole family at Walmart. You think it can't save me from a fucking blizzard tomorrow night?
Yeah. Okay. What else you got, CK? I know you waited a long time to talk. I'm shocked that it was about that.
I was on it because you was talking about it was. Listen, I was impressed that you got your ass out the city. That's what we got to do. Get rich people. It's just like people that move out of Chicago. Don't nobody want to stay in Chicago so they can get murdered. They want to get that paper and get the hell out. Down to Florida, down to Texas. You know what I mean? And if you get super money, you can go to LA. That's cool. But like you said, Florida and Texas is suitable places. We can go to Mississippi. We can go, down there. But we're not going to live in no damn
hate, reason why Wyatt had to leave, because he knew how much this hater feel. So they gonna hate him for his success, especially when you're trying to put your children through higher learning. You know what I mean? He living through it. I know what he dealing with.
There's definitely hate in Cincinnati, but CK, there's hate everywhere.
No, not like Cincinnati. We got super hate. Our hate trumps your Florida hate, sir. And you know this.
You think so, huh?
What you got? What city you got? What you got? Give me something. I want some competition because I think we number one. The Queen City? Shit. What city, what county you at?
I don't
Dade County?
No. I mean, if you're talking about Carroll City, maybe they might have a little bit, they're it's a little different in Carroll City down, further south. Yeah, that's challenging.
But even them niggas down there where you at, the pork and beans haters and all that, they got good hate. We just hate just to hate. At least you be like, well, let's get this nigga because he got some money. We just hate this nigga woke up today. Damn, Wyatt, I thought he was gonna die in his sleep. We got that type of hate. Y'all niggas down there got the type of hate where that nigga making too much money. I gotta feed my kid. I'm gonna rob that nigga. That's different. You see what I'm saying? These niggas hate that you was even born. They hate your mama for having you.
Ooh, shit, that's rough. I ain't even gonna lie. Your thoughts? I have no thoughts. that's treacherous.
I had to give it to you. I'm just saying that's why people love me, because I'm the one. Remember, I'm the criminal. You're not. So they're gonna listen to me. I'm a criminologist. So when I tell them about the penitentiary,
I'm sorry, excuse me.
Criminologist or a criminologist.
I heard what you said. I heard what you said. Now, we all make mistakes. People make fun of me because I make mistakes when I say certain things as well. So I'm not going to clown you on that. I just wanted to make sure I heard what you said. Like, I say some things sometimes because this is a live show and I can't really recover live. So I just keep going. But so I don't want to clown you for saying what you said, but I just wanted to make sure that you said it properly so people would know what you meant. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so everybody, when I play it for my younger audience, they get to hear your intelligence and they get to hear my intelligence. They know that I'm speaking the truth because I'm talking from experience. They're like, this dude ain't never been in jail, and how the hell he even know anything? I'm telling you from the inside. Once you get a life sentence, you snitch your ass out of there. Ain't no nigga gonna be sitting in jail talking about, man, I'm gonna do my time. I'm an honorable man. Why I'm gonna tell on my best friend? Yeah, I'm gonna tell on his ass so he could be in here and I could be out. That's crime thoughts. See, they can respect me because most niggas talk that bullshit. Like, well, if you get into crime, you have to have honor, respect, and integrity. No, that's if you don't want to be part of crime. But if you want to be a slimy snake, get into the illegal activities, drugs. You see what I'm saying? That's why you tell your children don't do drugs.
I hear you.
You see what I'm saying? You got all the snow you need coming tomorrow. Why the hell I need to put something in my nose? I'm gonna be shoveling for days.
This can't be real. CK, that sound crazy as hell, bro. I'm sorry.
You sure? Listen, my nostrils was not made to sniff white substances. You do understand this, Wyatt?
Bro, you fucked me up all the way with that one, bro.
You do understand your nostrils was not made to be inhaling white substances.
Yeah, I know that our bodies aren't built for dope. I get it. But
so if a man is partaking in those type of events, remember that's a weakness. He has a feminine trait installed in him that he's boom. You've seen the movie Scarface. If he didn't do cocaine, he would be like Eddie Murphy doing a documentary Still Alive. All Eddie Murphy adversaries fell off because of the cocaine. Richard Pryor, the Robin Harris, what was his name? Robin Williams. They opened their nostrils up like a 7-Eleven, sir. And they sucked like a vacuum mover until they died. Eddie looks like he's still 25 because he never partakes. Do you understand, sir?
I got you, bro. What else you got, CK? I gotta run, man.
I poured out my whole heart. I'm dead. I can go to work and make money now. Thank you for this therapy. You see the fear. You please address the fear that I'm dealing with this weekend because I have to come in. These people that's watching your show, I don't know if they have to work. This nigga do. So I'm scared. And please address it, sir. Thank you. Brother. God bless your family.
All right, man. Same to you, man. Thanks for engaging with us today, CK. Shit. I'm not gonna lie. You know what I was thinking the whole time? Let me see if I can get this camera to do something special for me. You know what I was thinking the whole time CK was just on the phone? Be nice. Be nice. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was thinking, what are we gonna talk about tomorrow? I was just wondering, what the hell am I gonna talk about tomorrow at 9:00 in the morning? That's new for me. I'll come up with something, man. I'll come up with something. I have not a clue what we're gonna talk about, but I'll be here in the morning at 9:00, getting everybody ready for the snow, the lock-in, and hopefully I'll come up with something that'll be interesting, positive, going the right direction. I will not be poolside. I do not have that type of flex in me. I will not do that to the people that I love. But I might rock a, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Peace and love to everybody, man. I'll see you guys on the next one. Right here on Wyatt Live. See you in the morning right here at 9:00. Now, I haven't told my wife I'm doing this shit yet, so we'll see how that work out. Hey, peace and love to everybody, man. I'll catch you tomorrow, 9 a.m. We'll go a couple hours if there's people here. Peace and love to everybody, man. I'll catch y'all in the morning. Holla.
moving, moving.